Welcome back to Baseball Night in America. Red Sox and Tigers coming up from Detroit. Let's get you out to Joe Buck, Tom Verducci, and Harold Reynolds in Motown.
Ryan, thank you, buddy. We roll the clock back to last October. This is a rematch of last year's ALCS. It's the Detroit Tigers. It's the Boston Red Sox as we play here on a beautiful Saturday night in Detroit. It's Fox Baseball Night in America. Coming your way from Motown right now. And hello, everybody. I am Joe Buck. That is Harold Reynolds. That is Tom Verducci. We're going to start with you. It's been streaky for the Boston Red Sox so far. They lost 10 straight. They won 7 straight. Now they've lost 4 in a row. Last night, the Tigers snapped a 5-game losing streak, and yet, with all the talent here, we've got about as good a pitching matchup as you can find with Scherzer and Lester going tonight.
It's a great one. If you're a fan of power pitching, this is a marquee matchup. 2 of the top 4 pitchers in the league, according to strikeout rates, we have going here. And if previews are any indication, think about their last 2 times these 2 guys hooked up. Last September, Lester wins 2-1. Last month, Scherzer wins 1-0. Joe, for 2 teams that have really struggled offensively, it doesn't figure the runs will come any easier.
Well, runs haven't been easy for the Boston Red Sox, period. They're not getting a lot of production out of their outfield. We'll talk about that as we go through this game tonight. But it's a tale of 2 different stories with these 2 dugouts. David Ortiz is trying to do this thing by himself right now.
I'm telling you, it's hard to break up your love affair with pitching, but I'd love to see some offense, and so would David Ortiz. So I'll tell you what, this club has been struggling. He's had to do it on his own, like you're talking about, Joe. Look at the numbers, not bad, but not godly and vaunting like we might expect to see. No protection. He's got to be envious looking across the dugout and seeing the other side of the field, because the Tigers, they do have a nice middle of their lineup, and they've been clicking pretty good, led by, of course, Miguel Cabrera, one of the best hitters of our time. And then Victor Martinez has been making a name for himself, too. Hopefully we'll see some offense, but it's up to you and Tom and what Tom's talking about. We're not going to see any offense, pitching.
You're not buying that? What?
I want some offense.
Well, we'll see.
I want some offense.
You want some offense. It's a great pitching matchup. The task may be a little bit easier for Max Scherzer in this matchup here tonight. Red Sox need it. Tigers want it. So do you. It's baseball coming up next on Fox. 39 years old. He's won 6 games. He won the Cy Young Award last year. And here's a lineup for the Red Sox, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Brock Holt leads it off. He's at first. Xander Bogaerts bats second. At third, Dustin Pedroia hits third at second. The DH Ortiz, Sizemore, Nava. Stephen Drew is batting in the 7th spot. David Ross does the catching, and Jackie Bradley Jr. is batting in the number 9 spot. Scherzer is set to go, and so are we. Ken Rosenthal will join us from down on the field as we go through tonight's game. Game 2 of a 3-game series. First pitch, a strike to Brock Holt. Scherzer is coming off a 4-0 loss to Seattle on Sunday. He has struggled for 2 of his last 3 starts, but he comes in with a record of 6-2, an ERA of 3.2, and taking on a Red Sox lineup that as a group is hitting .243. That's popped up into right. Back is Torrey Hunter, 9-time Gold Glove Award winner, can catch that in his hat. 1 away. Time for our Lowe's Never Stop Improving pitcher profile. Lowe's never stop improving, and Max Scherzer has been improving seemingly year after year.
You know, it was amazing. I got a chance to see him throw a bullpen in spring training, and he added a little hard sinker. You know, so when you talk about continually improving, you think, okay, he won a Cy Young last year. He added another pitch. And I just think the work ethic, I watched this guy throw pins, it's amazing.
Work ethic off the charts. He's a guy who really didn't throw a curveball until 2 years ago, and recently has featured the pitch. In other words, he's been a guy who's been fastball, changeup, slider as the 3rd pitch. Thrown a lot of curveballs the last 3 starts. He said it's a function of seeing a lot more left-handed hitters.
He's seeing a right-handed hitter right now, and that right-handed hitter is one of the best young guys in the game, Xander Bogaerts.
Love him. Everything about him. You know, watching him move, he just moves like a guy that's really confident. But great upside with him, but he's just learned how to play at the big league level. The talent just jumps off the charts.
Came up last August. He came up and played primarily third base as that drives him off the plate. Scherzer takes the inside part of the plate on that pitch. And after starting this season as the everyday shortstop, you know the story. The Red Sox re-signed Stephen Drew. They've shifted Bogaerts back over to third base. And he's been honest, saying it's not as easy this time around, doing it after not getting a lot of work there in the spring. Here's one in the gap, going to get it. Now on one hop, it's Torrey Hunter, and it's a base hit for Xander Bogaerts here in the 1st.
Tell you what, this is one of the communication problems the Tigers have had is with Torrey and Austin Jackson. I know this ball falls in, but because they are both center fielders, so to speak, the aggressiveness, it seems like this year they haven't been able to figure it out.
I'm with you, Harold. This happened the other day with Justin Verlander on the mound. It's almost as if Jackson defers to the experience of Hunter, whereas the center fielder, I don't care if it's your first day in the big leagues, you're the one who has to take charge.
It brings up Pedroia with Bogaerts at first, 1 out. And another first pitch strike. When that ball left the bat off the stick of Bogaerts, you think that was going to be an out?
Yeah, I did. I thought Austin Jackson was going to run it down. And what happens a lot of times, the aggressiveness, you know both guys are going to get there. You kind of bail off on the difficult play. Should it have been a hit? Absolutely. But was it catchable on a dive or something like that? Maybe so.
0-1 the count. Bogaerts doesn't run a lot. That hits the outside corner, according to the home plate umpire Vic Carapazza. Not according to Pedroia, and he's in the hole 0-2.
The one thing I like about Max Scherzer, he doesn't have the greatest move to first base, but he freezes the runner. And what I mean by that, he will hold the ball like we just saw him and hold it and hold it. As a base runner, your legs get heavy, you start to lean forward, and you have to call off the run.
Yeah, he's made it a part of his pregame routine. Every time he'll go down the left field line and hold the ball for up to 8 seconds. And part of that, Harold, is also you're freezing the hitter as well.
Yeah.
In fact, Max said to me they ought to come up with a rule to improve the pace of the game so that the hitter cannot call timeout. As you know, as a hitter, you don't like to
time.
He said a pitcher should be able to hold the ball for up to 8 seconds without the batter calling time.
If he's holding, I'm calling time if I'm at the plate. It's a rhythm game.
Here's a 1-2. Pedroia goes down swinging, 2 out.
tell you, it messes up your timing. It really does as a hitter. And when a guy holds like that, you don't know when he's coming, and you don't know when to start your swing.
Yeah, that's the slider right there. He'll feature the slider to the right-handers, the curveball to the left-handers. That was an excellently located pitch.
So now it's David Ortiz. The shift is on in the infield. Ortiz sees the shift more than anybody in the American League. Ryan Howard sees it the most across the big leagues. And so he's used to seeing all that room on the left side of the infield. Runner at first, 2 out, and the first pitch is outside, ball 1.
You know, I like it against David Ortiz in this situation. Look, he's looking to drive a ball. All right, and if he misses one, hits a ground ball, you're going to have the whole defense over there. He's not shooting with the runner on second base, for example, to get a ground ball to the left side and drive in a run. And the Red Sox need offense. Shift everybody over there. He's going to try to hit something hard and try to hit out of the park.
He's done that a lot in this ballpark. He's been a tough out everywhere, but he's been a real tough out here at Comerica as he chunks that one to first. Cabrera walks to the bag, and that's a quiet start for the Red Sox after a half with John Lester going to the hill. No score in Detroit. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Rajai Davis will lead it off in left. Ian Kinsler bats second. Miguel Cabrera, he's at first, hitting third. The DH is Victor Martinez. Torrey Hunter is in right. Nick Castellanos at third base. The rookie Austin Jackson at center. Brian Holiday does the catching, and Eugenio Suarez is the rookie shortstop, and I'm anxious to watch him play here tonight. Not as anxious as the Detroit Tigers front office is, as they're hoping to get an answer at shortstop. And here's an answer that you know going into every season, guys. You want somebody to go out there every fifth day and do his thing. It's Lester. Here's a rocket in the left, and back on the move is Nava. 1 pitch, 1 out. A quick one out of the hand of John Lester, off the bat of Davis, and into the glove of Nava. 1 away.
Wow. He ran that ball down. I thought it was in the gap. Nice swing, nice defensive play all the way around.
And also, you saw him fighting the sun, and that may have factored in the other ball that Jackson didn't see. This ballpark has the southernmost setup for the batter looking at the pitcher, so the angle for the outfielders, especially the left side of the field, extremely difficult, especially early in the game. You can see the glare there on the sunglasses. We are in one of the most western cities in the eastern time zone, so the sun is still a factor here in the early innings of a game, especially with the southern orientation of this field.
Can you wrap your mind around any of that, Harold?
I had to go Southern orientation. What the heck is he talking about?
I was about to drop the barometric pressure on you, but I decided I'd keep it simple.
All right. Well, I'd have got that.
And I'm not saying, I mean, I couldn't. I'd like to think I'm smart enough to figure that out, but I'm not.
Well, you know what really caught me last night watching the game, guys? I saw infielders on the left side shielding their eyes, trying to follow the flight of the pitches. And you never see that happen, but you do here in Detroit.
It reminds me of Salt Lake City and Ogden, Utah. In minor league ball, that's the way it was. You'd stand there with blocking the sun in your eyes in the infield.
Here's a jam shot pop-up. This is Holt, who goes out from his first base position, just learning that position, and as soon as he gets comfortable, old Brock is going to try the outfield, probably some left field when Napoli comes back tomorrow night. Let's go back to Nava. This is on that last ball that was just popped up to the right side, trying to find it with his glove, glasses on, trying to fight the sun.
It's going to be like that every pitch early. Just don't miss it when it's hit out there with this guy hits it, because it's going to hit you in the head hard.
There is that guy, Miguel Cabrera, who is 12 for 25 in his career against John Lester. 2 out, nobody on, and pitch goes around the strike zone, ball 1. Talking about answering the bell, Lester, at least 31 starts over the last 6 years. So he is as dependable as any starter in any rotation in baseball. Base hit. Left center field, and that thing's going to go all the way to the wall. Cabrera lumbering around first. He's got a 2-out stand-up double. And he's now an even 500 in his career against the good left-hander John Lester.
Beautiful stroke. Look at this. And you always hear that phrase, stay inside the baseball. That just means keep your hands inside and drive the ball. But what I like is his head being down and his finish. He has a better finish than we saw 2 weeks ago. He looks a little more healthy than he was even a couple weeks ago. Starting to get hot.
I mean, that's ownership, those numbers you mentioned, Joe, and that doesn't include 8 walks as well. As on-base percentage against Lester is over 600. They kept him in the ballpark at least.
The lineup for the Tigers, guys, is a little better against left-handed pitching because they slot Torrey Hunter in the spot behind Victor Martinez, who's digging his way in right now. They're searching for anybody against right-handers to give protection to this great hitter, Victor Martinez, who has a 2-out RBI chance. The runner at second and Torrey Hunter on deck.
Yeah, I mean, you may end up having to put Rajay Davis in the lineup a little bit more and move Kinsler down and move Torrey down to give the protection that they were talking about.
Martinez is 8 for 22 in his career against John Lester. He is number 2 in the league with a .332 average. With a runner at second, 2 out, Martinez chased it, strike 1.
Oh, this is a big at bat right here. For me, the keys of the game for the Red Sox, they need to play from out front. They're 20-8 when they score first, but when they don't, 7-25. And for the Tigers, yeah, that 3-4-5 combination, they're tough against anybody. But if you lined up every hitter against John Lester, according to the highest batting average, 3 of the top 4 bat in order right here. Cabrera, Martinez, Hunter.
Those were the Lincoln Motor Company keys to the game, and a chance for the Tigers, who at the start of the day had a 3.5 game lead in the Central, to jump on top, and that's low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'll tell you one of the things, Tom, you're talking about the 3, 4, 5 hitters, Cabrera, Martinez, and Hunter in this game. They eliminate that ball away. They are looking strictly hard in, cutters inside. You saw Cabrera hit the ball in the gap on a slider in. They're eliminating the ball away. I'm looking inside to pull a ball and hit it hard.
That's strike 2. Forever you heard about the cutter of Andy Pettitte. He's out of the game now, obviously. John Lester may slot in as far as left-handers with that cutter, about as nasty as there is.
Yeah, it is. And he throws 2 different breaks on it, it looks like. One's big and one's short and hard on the hands quick.
Well, right now, Victor Martinez has got him right where he wants him. A 2-strike count. Average American League hitter hits 178 in those counts. Victor, he's over 340 with 2 strikes.
Lays off the pitch in the count 2-2.
And I asked him about that approach, and he said, well, first of all, he's a tremendous contact hitter, but he said his years of catching and catching very good pitchers like Verlander, Sabathia, Millwood, He said, I realized even the great ones make a lot of mistakes. And the more pitches I can make a pitcher throw, the more likely he is to make a mistake. Very comfortable hitting with 2 strikes.
A double by Cabrera, and now a pitch down and away, a full count on Victor Martinez. With first base open and Torrey Hunter next. John Farrell's got his best going tonight. Hoping Lester does his job and that the Red Sox can find some offense. Only one pitch in, the rest down and away. And now here's one fair down the right field line, and that's going to put Detroit on top. Victor Martinez and Miguel Cabrera switch spots, and it's 1-0 Tigers on top.
Just a terrific piece of hitting. You know, when you get to 2 strikes, you're looking fastball and adjust. And right here, he's just looking for the ball. See him keep that head down, how long it stays down. Watch his head. Finish the swing. That's how you make contact. Once it hits the bat, you let it go. And look at him. Now your shoulder's going to take you to follow where the ball went. A lot of guys will peek their head off and you don't follow the ball the whole way. That's textbook hitting.
He also saw that contact point. He let the ball travel. The contact point was basically out in front of his belly button instead of trying to catch it out front. It's another great 2-strike approach. His 40th hit this year on 2 strikes.
Wow.
Amazing.
Career double number 325 for Victor Martinez as strike 1 is poured in from Lester on Torrey Hunter.
Joe, is that good? 40 hits with 2 strikes?
Yeah, I think that qualifies.
Wow.
How about he's got 9 of his 14 home runs have come with 2 strikes?
Yeah, so that's not exactly just shortening up and, punching the ball the other way all the time.
Strike 2 on Hunter.
Damage, too.
We were here a couple of weeks ago, and Harold, you were going on and on about wondering if it was time to worry about the Tigers, and I think Tom and I were dismissive of your question, but maybe it was more relevant than we knew. Coming off a 5-game losing streak, winners last night, and that nice comfortable lead in the AL Central has been whittled down. Really the entire division is right there within 5 games.
Yeah, they just haven't played well. I mean, I don't think I really saw anything coming. What you look at, though, is does any team have the ability to have your pitching staff go through and win 2 times through? Can you win 10 in a row, 8 in a row? They have that ability to do that.
Runner at second, 2 out. The 0-2 from Lester is down and in.
So I know that's what you 2 experts were looking at, saying, oh, they can turn it around easy with this pitching staff, right?
Well, I mean, if you'd have told me they'd play 17 games and their starters would get only 3 wins in that stretch, I figured something was wrong health-wise, but that has not been the case.
That's foul right side, out of play, still 1-2.
These guys look like they've had a lot of at-bats against Lester. You touched on the 3, 4, 5. They just look comfortable. They know they're not going to get a pitch that's going to knock them down like we saw with Bogarts and getting busted in. And they feel real comfortable. That's what I mean. You know you're not going to get hit, and you feel good at the plate. Look at Brad with the old, he's growing a little gruff on his face there.
There's a 1-2 pitch from Lester, who's hit only 1 batter this season.
There you go.
Count evens at 2-2.
Yeah.
I'll back you up periodically with a statistic, and
I like that.
Sometimes I'll just disregard what you say.
Good.
And so will the truck. Look at that. There's comfort.
How about that? That's good. Thanks, guys. It's fantastic.
Runner at second. That's Victor Martinez.
It's not the geometric presser, but it's good stuff.
You want a coffee, too? We can make a coffee run for you.
Sounds good.
Whatever you want.
Barometric pressure.
Oh, excuse me. See, I got that wrong.
Lester's been working the hard stuff up to Hunter. And here's a ground ball up the middle, base hit. Here comes Victor. 2-0. Tigers on top here in the first. The heart of the order doing it to John Lester, Cabrera, Martinez, and Torrey Hunter.
Yeah, we saw the fastballs up, and then Lester wanted to go to the cut fastball, but nice balance here by Torrey. That's a cutter that just stayed over the heart of the plate. He really wants to bury that in on his hands. Just didn't get it in enough. Torrey took advantage of it.
They got a great game plan. I tell you, they've really had a great idea of not worrying about a ball away. We're going to look in and we can adjust.
There's Castellanos, the rookie third baseman. He's got 20 RBIs. He's been a hot hitter of late. And Austin Jackson made a nice play in the on-deck circle, strike one.
You know, I had a long talk with Wally Joyner, the hitting coach of the Angels. You know, Wally's World. I got him in Angels.
Oh, a long time.
Uniform. Yeah, that guy. The Tigers. He's the hitting coach here now. And he said one of the things that's happened with him from 235 to 260, you see the batting average, he's being more patient. He's swinging at strikes.
A one pitch is fouled right side, strike two on Castellanos.
Castellanos was getting himself out early, and as young players, they do that quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, man. He is a hyper-aggressive swinger of the bat. I mean, he is very aggressive in and out of the zone. That's typical of a young player, but he's even off the charts when it comes to just wanting to swing that bat. But what I love about him, Harold, he's got a natural stroke that takes the ball the other way.
That is caught by Pedroia to end the inning. But the big bats made big noise in the first inning. Cabrera, Martinez, Hunter. 2-0 Tigers after one. By Taco Bell breakfast. Wake up, Live Moss. Second inning rolls in. Fourth member of this crew will roll in here in just a second. He goes by the name of Ken Rosenthal. He likes them shaken, not stirred. He's great with a laptop. He gets his info from high and low, and he is standing by near the dugout. We'll hear from him in a second about Max Scherzer and his life.
He's a movie star now, too.
He is. Here's a strike into Grady Sizemore as we begin the second. 2-0 Tigers on top. And we'll start up here in the booth by mentioning the offer that was turned down by Max Scherzer. Is he's a free agent to be, as is John Lester, tonight's starter for the Boston Red Sox. And it seemed incredible in the year with all of these Tommy John surgeries popping up that anybody would turn down money just south of $150 million. But that's what Scherzer did. Ken Rosenthal, there is more to that story, because if you think Max Scherzer is nuts for turning it down, you need to know more, right?
That's right, Joe. And Tom and I were talking to Max yesterday, and we said, Max, people say all the time, how can you turn down $144 million and risk injury? And he said, well, I have an insurance policy for my arm for this season. And he said that it basically takes the injury risk out of it. Now, it's extremely doubtful that he has an insurance policy that covers $144 million. John Lester also has such a policy, but I'm told that his isn't for nearly that amount. But it just shows the thought that Max puts into all this. And Tom, we also had a talk with him yesterday about some of the research he does into injuries and how pitchers of his age aren't necessarily as susceptible as we think.
Yeah, Kenny, I thought that was fascinating. Well, it's always fascinating talking to Max. He's as intellectual, as studious a pitcher as you will find. But he asked his agent, Scott Boras, to look up the incidence of injuries to pitchers. And what he found was that once a pitcher clears that 4-year mark, the rate goes down. Between the service years 4 and 8, it's actually lessened. And he said, look at the Tommy John surgeries this year. Almost all of those pitchers breaking down are very young, have less than 4 years experience. And he also found out, the research that Scott Boras did, that position players at his service time age group are more likely to break down than pitchers. I'm sure this will all be presented in his free agent booklet that Scott puts together when he's on the market.
Sizemore grounded out to second. Kinsler made the play. Nava's at the plate, hoping to get more at bats to do something about a 134 average. And that breaking ball slides in for strike 2.
You know what I found interesting about that whole conversation right there about the 4 years is after 4 years, guys are basically on their own program. You know, we're not worried about 100 pitches. We'll stretch you. We'll let you work out, throw your pins, do the things you want to do. So they start to throw a little bit more. You know, from talking to most pitchers, former or greats or whatever, they feel like guys don't throw enough. Is why there's so many injuries. And what I'm saying, what Max is saying is they get to a point where you start to throw, you throw more. Less injury.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Nava strikes out on a pitch down and in, and that's number 2 for Scherzer, who struck out 240 hitters last year as he works here in his 4th full year in Detroit.
Well, remember when Arizona traded him, they thought perhaps he wasn't going to hold up physically. Let's take a look at his motion here, and I want you to look at a couple of things. When his foot lands, his stride, that front leg, he's going to pitch off a very stiff front leg. Bend here, but he'll straighten this knee out. The other thing is watch the elbow as the elbow leads. Like a golfer, they talk about lag for the club behind them. He does that with his arm where the elbow leads and that ball is so far behind him. He has tremendous lag. That's essentially stored energy. And he scared the Diamondbacks with that delivery, and they thought, well, he might be a bullpen piece, but we don't know about him making 30 starts a year. Well, let's face it, he's been extremely durable for the Tigers.
2 quick strikes on Stephen Drew, who's playing in his 5th game. Rejoined this club on Monday, the beginning of that 3-game sweep at the hands of the Indians. There's a delivery by Max Scherzer, who has the hitter Drew set up, and that bounces in for ball 1. What do you? Drew is an interesting piece to this puzzle for Boston, and was seemingly a potential piece to the puzzle for the Detroit Tigers once Iglesias went down with the shin injury that's going to keep him out all year long. But waiting to get through the draft, the Red Sox ended up signing Drew, and here he is playing in his 5th game this week.
You know, the way I look at it is once it got to the point that he wasn't going to sign till June, this is strictly a defensive pick. You want a guy to catch the ball for you. And the Tigers felt like they had people that could catch the ball. Because I don't think Stephen Drew is going to go out and just light it up. It's tough to catch up after sitting around as long as he is.
And when it's tough to catch up, sometimes you're out in front, like Stephen Drew just was on that pitch. Strikeout number 3. Good start for Scherzer, up 2-0 after 1.5. Game on Fox is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company. This is where a new conversation begins. Bottom of the second rolls in. There is Justin Verlander. We will hear from him live in the next half inning. It's 2-0. The Tigers on top. Austin Jackson, Brian Holiday, the catcher, and Eugenio Suarez will be the hitters. Bottom three in the lineup against John Lester, who gets it in at the knees. Strike one to Jackson, hitting .241. Lester got the first two in the first inning, but then Cabrera doubled, Martinez doubled, Torrey Hunter knocked home Martinez with a single. It was 2-0, and now it's an 0-2 count on Jackson. That's in the dirt. 1-2. Here's the next from John Lester. It is fouled back to the screen.
You know, it's been interesting watching the progression of Austin Jackson. I really thought he would be a guy that would drop more bunts, steal a lot more bases for you. They kind of totally got away from that game. And I think it's affected him. I really think if he played that type of a game, he might be even more effective.
2-2.
Yeah, he's actually regressed a little bit the last couple of years. You know, 3 years ago, he really cut down on his strikeout rate. That had been a problem, like a lot of young hitters, again, overly aggressive, and I think he attacked that. The numbers just haven't been there the last couple of years in terms of getting on base.
He had a big year 2 years ago. Here's one into the gap in left center field. Bradley over to cut it off. And on one hop, gets it back into the infield. A leadoff hit for Austin Jackson. Let's go to Ryan Field in the studio for a game break. Well, Ryan and guys, now everybody's looking up at Toronto. They lost today at home to St. Louis 5-0, but they've won 20 of their last 25 and have a nice lead in the AL East.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, when do people start thinking about it? The Red Sox are out here hitting about 130, and they were asking, hey, what's going on in that game?
Here's a strike into Holiday.
You know, they're paying attention already. It's what, June 7th?
They better be. That team's for real. Well, that's doing something, shutting out that lineup.
Shelby Miller got the start for St. Louis, and it was a rare loss for Mark Burley. He still got the 10 wins in almost record time. Here is a bunt and a nice play by Holt, and they say safe as he missed the tag. Holiday got around it. Out to argue mildly is John Farrell. He's going to walk out slowly, and we'll see if we are headed for a review.
Well, I love the play. Tom, I know you're against diving into first, but if he'd have dove earlier, he might have got around him. I think he's out. What do you think,
I
Joe?
think he got him, too. What do you think?
Well, we won't know until we see this view. I don't think he got him.
Wow.
Ooh.
Now remember, Brock Holt, second baseman by trade, switched over to third base out of necessity, and now switched to first base out of necessity. Had never played the position there in his life.
These two are out here just killing time until John Farrell hears from the dugout whether to challenge. You know, a lot of things going on there with Holt. I would say that his lack of a reaction at the safe call tells you more than even the replay. He wasn't surprised at all and didn't go immediately to the umpire, and John Farrell is told to not review the play because Holt somehow missed the big body of Brian Holiday going down the line.
Boy, Joe, you're dead on it. I mean, he showed up the ball a little bit as a little bit of a deke, but you're absolutely right. He didn't even challenge the fact that he thought he got him out.
He showed the ball, but the safe call by Adam Hamari, a young umpire at first. And so the defense lets down Lester. Eugenio Suarez is the rookie shortstop. 0 for 1 in the big leagues. Missed with a bad knee after getting injured on Wednesday night, the last two, and now the Red Sox looking for the bunt.
Well, it changes the whole situation for him now. He goes to the plate looking to bunt himself.
That's a strike. They will credit Holiday with a base hit.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to bunt here. I've got a 2-0 lead. I got a big inning in order here.
Well, I don't have a problem with him moving them up at all. I'd rather have the infield's going to be drawn in. I go to the top of the order. I can put you away this inning. Last thing I want is a double play ball.
Well, Suarez is a guy that has been stinging the ball in the minor leagues. He's 22 years old. He came up on Wednesday. He got only 12 games in at AAA Toledo, hit a couple of home runs. He's good defensively, and they needed him. Maybe a little bit before his time, but why not? That's outside, 1-2.
And you saw in that swing for strike 2, Joe, that's pretty much his profile. He's got pop in his bat, but he does have holes in that swing. He will strike out. That was a big swing for that second strike.
Lester needs a strikeout. Looking for his first of the night. And he gets a little pop-up. Right side, easy for Holt. Foul ground. 1 away.
And this is where the game has changed. I mean, when is a shortstop come to the big leagues, straight out of the minor leagues, and you can't bunt? You know, he probably never got a bunt sign in the minors if he's hitting the ball with the power you're talking about. But that's not really a profile of a shortstop. That's how much the game's changed. It's just the way it is.
No, maybe it's also Brad Analysis' way of saying, have confidence in you, kid. You just got here. I want to see you swing the bat. Give him the opportunity.
I got to bury you. I want to bunt him, move him up, second and third. Infield's drawn in. I go to top of the order. Rajay already hit a bullet his first time up.
2 on, 1 out. Check swing. He went around. Strike 1. I was surprised. I was surprised they didn't lay one down with a kid who's still obviously trying to prove himself. See if he can bunt and get it back to the top of this order, which if this lineup has anything, it's some heat up top. That's on the outside corner. Now Davis is in the hole, and that at bat by Suarez could be the little release valve for John Lester here in the second, and who knows what that leads to as we go through this game.
Yeah, what it allows Lester to do is pitch for a ground ball.
And he gets the ground ball, but a base hit left side. That's going to bring home Jackson and make it 3-0 Tigers on an 0-2 count. And Davis has his 18th RBI of the season.
He's got the ground ball he wanted. Good piece of hitting by Davis.
Yeah, it looked like a curveball. He got him to roll over on out of the strike zone.
And so the RBI base hit for Davis to make it 3-0, and still 2 on, only 1 out.
Look at the reaction of Lester. He is ticked. He knew he got his ground ball. 0-2. He was out of the inning.
Drew was more up the middle. He was nowhere near that ball. Hit to his right as Kinsler fouls the first pitch away, strike 1.
Yeah, and I wonder if that factored into some of the anger there from John Lester. You know, you're throwing a curveball. Chances are he's going to roll on it, pull the pitch, and if the shortstop is shaded up to the middle, why give away those extra couple of steps? I'm not saying that was why Lester reacted that way. It could be a case of, hey, I made my pitch and was unlucky. But certainly off the bat as a pitcher, you like that weak contact. Turns into a run-scoring hit.
1 ball, 1 strike. 3 singles in the inning. The out by Suarez on a pop-up. And Kinsler, who popped up his first time. And he was hitting in that number 2 spot. Started the night hitting 300. Waits for a 1-1.
Lester look a little frustrated to you?
Yeah, I don't know what happened on the last pitch, but a little bit of anger after that one, too.
Here's a 1-1. 2 balls and a strike.
See, Joe, Tom's an advocate against conversation at the mound right now, but now's when you need the conversation. Hold it. Calm down. Let's get out of this thing, because he's a little out of sorts.
Well, and these two guys, David Ross and Lester, have a great working relationship.
Here's a 2-1. 2-2. Ross is in the lineup tonight as Lester snaps at it as he gets it back from David. Because of the success in the ERA down in the 2s as opposed to a 6 ERA with A.J. Pierzynski. Whether that's fair or not, managers will either use that to their advantage or they will dismiss it entirely. But that's why Ross is in there as he receives the pitch up and away, and it's now a full count to Kinsler with Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck.
I've watched personal relationships work with pitchers and catchers. There is something that factors into it. To sit there during the week and say, here's what we want to do, here's what you like to do. There is something that factors into that.
Big pitch here on 3-2, 2 on 1 out, and a foul off to the right.
Well, AJ got the start last night with Ruby De La Rosa. They've worked well together in 2 starts. It looks like they have something going. So AJ started with a left-handed starter for Detroit, left-handed hitter. And today David Ross, right-handed hitter, gets to start against the right-handed pitcher because John Farrell values those relationships between the pitcher and the catcher.
Him being a former pitcher himself, I'm sure that takes it to another level.
Another foul ball, and that makes him scatter down in the front row of the Tiger dugout. Almost lost our interview guest.
Golly, how you pull a ball that hard behind you? My goodness.
Wake up Justin Verlander and anybody in the Tiger dugout. Here's a high fly ball into left. Nava coming to grab it. 2 up. And the batter will be Miguel Cabrera. It was Cabrera who started it with a double in the first inning. He scored on a double by Victor Martinez, who scored on a single by Torrey Hunter, and these are their career numbers against John Lester, one of the best in the game.
Ouch.
Oh, man. Those are softball numbers against a great left-handed pitcher.
Cabrera, strike 1.
Yeah, you were asking what do they do. I'm just guessing that they're eliminate that ball away. I mean, that's my thought, that what they're trying to do with him, and whatever they're doing is working. But I would think that would be it.
With 2 on 2 out, that one's way outside. So if that's the case, and you can see it from back here, you would have to believe Lester can see it from in front of these hitters, knowing that they're not going to care about the outside pitch because they don't fear the inside pitch.
Yeah, but he just falls in love with his cutter, and he pitches on the inside half. He's not as consistent away as we see there as he is balls inside, and he'll pound inside. That's his game.
A 1-1. That's a good pitch. Strike 2.
I think he saw that one.
Well, I think that's a great point. Most pitchers have a dominant side, arm side or glove side, and I think Lester is more of glove side. Likes to bury that ball in on right-handed hitters, and that breaking ball he likes to backdoor it. But bread and butter traditionally is the cutter in on the hands.
Here's a 1-2 outside, 2-2.
It's almost as if, Harold, that he's taken away John Lester's strength.
Yeah, it's like they shifted on him. They threw a shift on him.
By making Lester keep the ball away from him. As you see there, Lester is missing with the balls away.
You keep going back out there, and Cabrera will just flick it over the wall and right.
You're absolutely right.
The 2-2. That's too far. Full count, the runners will go. And if there's anybody who can flick the ball out of a park the other way, it's this guy.
Also now Davis on the full count gets a free start at first base. As deep as the outfield is, he still may score on a hit.
It's a great point because he can fly.
Lester steps off. Davis is almost like in a track stance waiting for a baton over at first base.
Yeah, and he's got to wait to make sure that they don't backdoor him with a pickoff move and try to get out of this, not wanting to throw the ball home.
And I'll allow this conversation.
You want the?
This is
okay?
a huge pitch in this game right here.
Wow. That's groundbreaking, Joe.
You better be on the same page here.
Groundbreaking.
Put some thought into this pitch. I think the question is, does he dare try to bring that cutter inside, or does he stay away once again? It's going in.
He's set up inside. The pitch is too far inside. The bases are loaded. And that's the first walk handed out by Lester in this one.
You know, we talk all the time about the way pitchers work hitters. I got the sense in that at bat, the hitter worked the pitcher.
Victor Martinez will bat with the bases loaded. And that means there's a chance for a grand slam. June 22nd, 2013, first inning. Victor Martinez, a grand slam off Alan Webster. Third career slam for Martinez, his first in September of 2011 in Cleveland. And he has a chance here in the second, with Scherzer pitching on his side, to bust this thing wide open. Bases loaded, 2 out. Strike one.
John Lester has not allowed a home run with a runner on base this year.
He's allowed 6 solo shots. Trying to get around that walk to Cabrera. Doesn't get any easier with Victor Martinez, who may have chased one down and in, and that should end the inning as Jackie Bradley Jr. puts it away. A run on the board for the Tigers. We'll hear from Justin Verlander.
Pitchers always want to be position players. Hey, how are my feet? Feet good? What? Oh.
Max Scherzer, who is by far the best right-handed pitcher on the Tigers staff, miles ahead of anybody else that the Tigers could possibly. Hey, Justin, how are you?
Hey, guys.
Hey, did Kinsler get your heart racing down there with that foul ball a second ago?
Oh man, thank goodness that fence is there. That thing was going to smoke me. It was squared up in our direction, which you never see from a right-handed hitter.
I loved it.
You loved it. First up is David Ross, and Scherzer brings it. Here it is. We're getting a look at it. I'm sure you don't have a monitor down the dugout. That would be a competitive advantage, and that was right at your chest.
Ugh. That's scary. These pitchers never like to see balls coming back at them either.
No. No, not at all. Here's an 0-1 pitch from Scherzer, who I'd say the early returns there, Justin, are pretty good on Max Scherzer here tonight.
Yeah, he's looked fantastic. His stuff looks great. Changeup's been outstanding. It always is usually, but you know, his last couple starts, he's a tick off. Looks like whatever he's been doing in bullpen sessions, he's back.
Here's the kid with a backhand, and he might have a better arm than you. 1 out.
You guys just gonna wear me out this whole time?
Oh, whatever. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt your feelings. We were watching. Harold and I were watching Suarez, the shortstop, take infield. He's got an arm on him.
Yeah, he's got some good tools. I'm really excited for him, man. His first start today. You know, bad luck the other day. His first opportunity to play in the big leagues, and he hurts his knee. He was supposed to be in. Actually, his first start was supposed to be my start the other day, but you know, he's back in there today.
Here's a strike. Do you get the sense from him in the clubhouse like he feels like he belongs down there?
Yeah, you do. You know, he's very calm, relaxed, doesn't say a whole lot, and you know, he definitely feels comfortable.
Hey, who's the loudest guy on your clubhouse? In your clubhouse,
oh,
anyway?
Man, I don't know. Rajay likes to talk a lot, and he puts a lot of emphasis on everything he says and speaks real slow.
Here is pitch that misses to Jackie Bradley Jr. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We were talking a couple of innings ago, which I guess would put it in the first, since we're only in the third right now, in a 3-0 game, about that little 5-game stretch, and after that great start of 27-12, you went through that dip, which is going to happen in any season. I wouldn't expect you guys were too worried about that, were you?
No, we weren't. And the great thing about this ball club is the amount of veterans that we have on this team allows us to be confident. And, you know, you go through a stretch like that, and you know you're going to come out on the other side. We're just confident in ourselves and our ability, and turn the page. The next day is a new day, and come prepared to win. Do whatever you got to do, and you know, most of the time I think we'll be successful.
Hey, Justin, as pitchers, when you guys struggle like you all did for a period there, what do you do? I know as a hitter, hey, I'm going over, I'll go back out there the next day. What do you guys do in the 4 days off?
Yeah, that sucks, man. It's you know, you go out there and you have a clunker, and you know, you just got to take every day. You know, you got to wear it for 4 days, and you're chomping at the bit to get back out there. You know, these guys, position players, and you get to go right back out there the next day. But I guess what you do is you just work. You know, you work on whatever you got to work on to get yourself back where you need to be.
Well, I thought you made a great point about Max, and especially that changeup. You saw it once again to Bradley. How about yourself, Justin? It looked like you got back on point in your last start. Certainly the velocity way up, 97, 98. Mechanics look better. How'd you feel?
Yeah, feeling good. You know, my stuff's been much better the last couple starts. A little mechanical adjustment I made. You know, I just got to fine-tune it a little bit. You know, I think the stuff is there now. It's just a matter of reeling it in. The pitches I got hurt on were off-speed pitches for the most part that, you know, just caught a little bit too much plate. I didn't quite execute them. But overall, I was very pleased, and look forward to get back out there.
How good is Toronto?
Oh man, they got a heck of a lineup. You know, the middle of that lineup is anybody can hurt you, and especially with the month Encarnacion had, and you know, they're a good ball club.
Here's a foul tip for strike 2 on Brock Holt with 2 out and nobody on. So you get the ball on Tuesday against the White Sox, and that team that you can't. Now you haven't been able to shake anybody in the division, and you told us last time that Minnesota was kind of a dark horse, and they're hanging right in there, and they added Kendrys Morales today.
Yeah, you know, you don't discount anybody in this game. You know, you never know what's going to happen. You just got to keep things internal and do whatever you can that day to win. You know, we did a great job last year of winning in our division, and hopefully we continue that this year, and you know, beat the guys that are trying to catch us. That's a big key, and not let them catch up to you.
I don't want it to be awkward next time we see you now. We're big fans. You're fantastic. You're just the greatest.
Thanks, guys.
That's Justin Verlander. Max Scherzer's doing his thing. He struck out 5, 3-0 Tigers on top. Single in this game. He leads it off in the third. Max Scherzer's on a roll on his side, and John Lester's trying to get on a roll on his side. He allowed 2 runs in the first inning, a run in the second, got out of further damage by ending the inning with the bases loaded. That pitch is down and in, a ball and a strike. Hunter will be followed by Castellanos and Austin Jackson.
Torres just spitting on pitches. You know, he's smiling after he gets knocked back.
Just chops it. Pedroia, 1 away. It was game 2, October 13th. The Tigers staring at a 2-0 lead this past ALCS. When Torrey Hunter did all he could, with the ball off the bat of David Ortiz, left the park for a grand slam. A run in the 9th inning and a 6-5 win for Boston in game 2. And to me, if you want to boil the postseason down to one swing, one moment for the Boston Red Sox, who went on to win it all like he can in 04 with a Dave Roberts stolen base, it was that at bat against Benoit. Here's a shot into left and gone off the bat of Castellanos, and the rookie's got 5, and the Tigers lead by 4.
Wow, that's what they sound like right there. Did you hear that sound? Woo. Tom was talking last time, Joe, how he stays inside the ball. He's that natural swing to hit a ball right center field. And this is catching a ball out front. And I mean, he crushed this.
That's a mistake. You talked about his aggressiveness, and that fastball is right down the middle. The most dangerous first pitch hitting team in baseball strikes again. If you think you're getting a giveaway strike from the Detroit Tigers to start at bat, you're mistaken.
Castellanos is coming off back-to-back 3-hit games. Here's a nice try by Drew. Juggles, cannot make a play, and it's an infield hit for Austin Jackson, who's now 2 for 2.
Well, that's a tough play right there. A little in-between hop. He stayed with it. I think if he's able to find it right away, he may have a little bit of a play. It stayed on his hand when it started to come down. But Austin runs too good. But Tom, you're talking about hitting that first pitch. That's what Wally Joyner and Darnell Coles preach. You know, if you're going to throw you a first pitch fastball and it's going to be there, let it go.
And Miggy Cabrera is one of the best in the game at doing that. And your best hitter traditionally sets the hitting culture in your lineup. Good example to follow.
Runner is going. That's Jackson. Throw down by Ross is in time. Got him. And that was awfully close and may get another look.
What a great tag by Pedroia. You know, it's tough on a short hop, but this ball bounces up perfectly right to make a tag on the slide. But watch his hands. Ooh.
What do you think? Think he got him?
No, I'll defer to Joe. Joe seems to be right on all these.
I think he's safe, and Austin Jackson never did leave the second base bag. Now he is. It looked like the tag came up into the midsection of Austin Jackson after the right foot got on the bag. Jackson wanted his manager Osmus to challenge it. He just stood out there. And I think by the time Pedroia, who, as you said, made a brilliant effort on a good tag, got the glove on him, I think the foot was on the bag, but that's Wally Joyner who gives the thumbs down. Let's take another look, see if the right foot gets. I think he's safe.
With you.
I'm with you. I would have challenged that.
I'm be like, Wally, come on, man.
Here's a ground ball to the shortstop. Drew sliding to his right. Holiday is out. But in the inning, another run. We avoided a challenge that may have gone the way of the Tigers. Instead, they get the home run from Castellanos. It's 4-0 Detroit after 3 here in Michigan. on Fox is sponsored by Jersey Boys from Warner Brothers Pictures in theaters June 20th and by T-Mobile. You can celebrate the new season with Chevrolet. Share your excitement using #TheNew. As we go into the middle innings, it'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Bogaerts, Pedroia, and David Ortiz against Max Scherzer. Only got to get a hit. Xander Bogaerts on a ball that dropped in right center back in the first inning.
This young man's up to 300. I remember a couple weeks back he was hitting 260 and people were wondering what's wrong with him. He's always been a slow starter, even in the minors.
Little chunker back in front of the mound, and Scherzer gets the out one away.
He's a heck of a player. You like him, Tom?
I think he's a star. He's got star written all over him. He did something in the game we did in Boston against Tampa Bay. I don't see many veteran hitters do. Against Joel Peralta on a 2-strike count, moved up in the batter's box to take away the split and wrapped it into center field. And he's got such a mature approach at the plate. Just so impressive.
Do you get the sense, as Dustin Pedroia stands in, just reading through the quotes? And this ball is launched in the air to left field, and the Red Sox are on the board. Dustin Pedroia gets number 3. And that was a no-doubter into the seats and left, and it's a 3-run game here in the 4th inning.
He ambushed Max Scherzer because Dustin rarely swings at first pitches. Loves hitting behind in the count. And Max Scherzer does as much work scouting report on hitters as anybody. Got surprised by this fastball.
Well, the biggest thing here is when you got a guy that has great out stuff, and that means like he can put you away with 2 strikes. This is that little arc he has in his swing we were talking about earlier at the cage, that Fenway Park over the left field wall swing.
Now Ortiz trying to jump on the first pitch, strike 1.
Max stuff has been so great. The changeup and the slider are so on today. You have to swing early in the count.
I totally agree with you, and that's not necessarily the Red Sox DNA. They like to take pitches and drive up counts, but when you face Max Scherzer, you have to avoid getting in 2-strike counts.
Ouch.
You talk about weapons to put hitters away, was the slider, the changeup, or the fastball. Check this out. Batting average against Scherzer, you better swing early in the count.
Hold on, what was that? That's 2 strikes, right? That was a foul ball. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing in 2. Yeah. The stats on the right back up what you guys are saying is the 0-2 pitch heads to Ortiz upstairs. It's why, as the 3 of us go through this season, our first season together, you'll find that the quickest game we do pace-wise is also the hardest game because everybody's got a story, and that's the All-Star game because everybody's got put-you-away stuff. So guys go up there swinging, ready to take a hack instead of waiting around for the perfect pitch to finally get delivered. It's bang, 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 and it's just a different feeling ball game.
And I think sometimes you do have to get out of your comfort level according to the pitcher and the game that he's throwing. Clearly, Scherzer has his A game today. The Red Sox love to drive up pitch counts, get deep in the counts, but that's not going to work today.
Here's a 2-2. And there's a strikeout number 6.
No, and I think that's part of what people have to understand when we're in this number-driven culture we're in right now. There is a game within the game. And sometimes that pitcher dictates great game plan to try to get to 100 pitches, maybe drive him out. But he's going to tell you what you have to do if you want to try to get back in a ball game.
Well, here's Grady Sizemore, who grounded out his first time, got off to the great start, was lining himself up to be one of the better stories of the year with the first couple of weeks of the season. Over the opening 10 games, he was hitting .343, hit a home run at Fenway in the home opener, and you thought maybe the Red Sox stole somebody, giving him a chance after 2 years out of the game. But over the last 37 games, he's hitting only .190.
Yeah, this could be one of the big oversights. The Red Sox don't make a lot of mistakes. I think he's a guy that should be playing around the diamond for you on different nights, not playing right field every night, because he just hasn't. You're seeing he's overexposed right now.
With 2 out, that's ball 1, 1 and 2.
Yeah, I agree. And that's basically the grind of the season, not because he doesn't have the skills to do it, but a guy who's been out of the game for so long now, asking him to play every day. I think that's why the bat has slowed down, as you mentioned, Joe, in the last few weeks. Some of that due to the injury to Victorino. He's had to pick up more at-bats.
Had a chance to visit with Shane. They've not mapped out exactly how he's going to come back and when that process is going to start. But Victorino's only played 21 games this season for the Red Sox, and they desperately need him to get healthy with that hamstring to lengthen this lineup, because right now there's a couple of tough outs and a lot of easier outs bookending those tough outs in the middle. Talking about Pedroia, who homers in this inning, obviously Ortiz, Bogarts, and after that the list is pretty short.
Yeah, and the frustration is going to mount, because offense is the one thing that kind of ties them all together. See if Shane gets some swings in off the tee, like Joe had talked about. But you're going to have to find protection behind Ortiz, or he's going to grow frustrated as the season goes on, because as we get to pennant races, why are you going to let David Ortiz beat you if you're another club? I'm sorry, I'll take my chances somewhere else.
There's a key right there. Mike Napoli, they expect him to come off the DL in time to play tomorrow.
2-2 pitch is fouled back.
That means Brock Holt, Mr. Do Everything, will find himself probably in left field.
You got a couple of pitchers there, and Buchholz and Dubront, who made a rehab start on Thursday and went 4 innings. Buchholz was supposed to throw a simulated game today before the action. That will happen actually tomorrow, as the Red Sox were told the field was unavailable. Pitches down and in, a full count.
Would they have a wedding or a bar mitzvah booked for the afternoon? What do you mean unavailable?
Unavailable. That was the word they got. So John Farrell didn't seem too worried about it. He said, we'll just do it tomorrow. 3-2 pitch, and it stays that way.
Gamesmanship, gentlemen.
Well, if you're a guy like Victorino, who wanted to stand in against a pitcher really throwing, Napoli, who's not going to go on a rehab assignment, going to come right back into the lineup tomorrow night, you wanted that game. Here's a 3-2. Fly ball into left. Davis is back. Inning over. With 1 out, first pitch. Trying to get hotter than Tent City in Arizona. 3rd homer of the year. It's a 3-run game. It's the number 9 man, Eugenio Suarez, leading it off against John Lester. They didn't have Suarez bunt back in the second with 2 on, nobody out. He ended up fouling out to the right side, looking for his first big league hit, just up from the minors, takes a strike, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. Suarez, then Davis, then Kinsler. A 4-1 game after a home run by Dustin Pedroia, launched into left. There's a strike from Lester, the count 1-2. Our good buddy A.J. Pierzynski, first year with the Boston Red Sox, wearing a headset down at the end of the dugout, and safe to say your left-hander tonight looks a little frustrated so far.
Yeah, I think he's I know in the second inning, I could see it on his face. I know talking to Rossi behind the plate, he looks like he was a little bit not focused. I don't know, I guess not focused isn't the right word, but he was getting a little frustrated, I think is the right word, like you said, and he was getting a little emotional out there, and sometimes he does that, and we got to try to reel him in at times because he's so darn competitive, man. He's amazing.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. It's outside, a full count to Suarez. So on the nights that Lester's pitching, the numbers say that Ross is going to get the start. Does that kind of stuff bother you at this stage of your career?
I'm too old to worry about that, Joe. Come on now.
A 3-2 pitch.
It used to.
Foul.
My younger days when I used to have, be full of energy and stuff like that, it used to bother me. But now that I'm getting close to Harold's age, I got to take it easy. I got to save my energy for the days I get to play.
Wow.
If you're going to tip your cap to another catcher, you got a good one to work with. Ross is one of the most engaging, funny guys you're going to see in any clubhouse. Here's a fly ball to left. Suarez, does he have his first? It's gone. The rookie goes deep. In his third at bat, and it's 5-1.
We're going to need a better call out of one of you guys than that.
Well, you took a shot at me. I didn't have a problem. You took a shot at Joe. I'm liking that.
Well, there you go. They've been waiting for something out of that shortstop position. They're on their feet. Here in Detroit is Eugenio Suarez. Maggie's going to get the silent treatment in the dugout.
There he is. Yeah, Miggy wants to shake his hand so bad. Look at him. Well, that was a pretty swing. Good for him.
Cabrera broke down, and now they'll congratulate him.
I guess that's why he didn't bunt in the second inning, huh?
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Well, we heard he had some pop. He showed it right there.
So Suarez goes deep. We're talking to A.J. Pierzynski, and a first career home run for Eugenio to make it a 4-run game again. And Lester now is allowed 2 home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Overall, what's the mood? It's been crazy down there, AJ, with the streaks. I mean, 10 bad, 7 good, 4 bad. Have you ever been a part of something like this?
I've never been a part of something that's so up and down and just crazy. Nice play, Johnny. It's been weird because we have a very talented roster here, I believe, and I think everyone on this team believes that. It's just that it's been so up and down. We've had obviously injuries. A lot of teams have had injuries. That's not an excuse. It just seems like everyone gets banged up at one time, and then you lose Knapp, you lose Middlebrooks, obviously we have Stephen Drew now, but you lose all these guys for an amount of time. And then our starting pitching's beat up with Dubron out and Buchholz out. So it's been frustrating. It's been trying, to say the least. But I will say this about this team, man. This team is as positive as a team I've ever been around. And not only that, man, these guys work their tails off. I've never seen a team 1 through 25 and 1 through 30 with the guys we have on the DL work and grind through games the way this team does. It's pretty impressive to be a part of.
It's crazy. You guys are here at 1:30 in the afternoon, full team in workouts.
Oh, absolutely. That's every day, though. If you know, I don't know how well you know, like Brian Butterfield and Arnie Baylor, our outfield, and our infield coach. They work these guys nonstop, and this is the most. I tell people this all the time. This is the most well-prepared team I've ever been. As far as any situation that arrives, they've already talked about it, discussed it, and they're prepared to do something about it if it comes up during the game.
Well, AJ, you may get Mike Napoli back tomorrow, but other than health, what does this team need to do to straighten itself out?
Win games? Is that simple enough for you guys?
I think you've been trying, but so far it's been a tough go.
It's just been a combination of things. You see tonight, Johnny just seems to tick off, and you don't see John Lester give up 5 runs a whole lot. Last night, Ruby pitched pretty well, but we couldn't get enough hits. It's just kind of been a combination, and Miguel Cabrera can hit. But
how good a hitter is Miguel Cabrera? You've been behind the plate watching him hit.
he's as good. First of all, let me say this: Barry Bonds is the best hitter I've ever seen, and no one else is in the same solar system as Barry Bonds. But Miguel Cabrera, as far as a right-handed hitter, the only guy I can compare him to is Manny when Manny was in his prime and going good, because there's just no pitch you can throw either one of those guys. You throw it in, you throw it away, they hit everything. Those two guys are probably the two best right-handed hitters I've ever played against.
And once again, first pitch. Now 5 for 5 against Lester in his career, swinging at the first pitch. He hits it like he knows what's coming.
Well, I don't know. I think Johnny missed a spot there, but he definitely looked like he was ready to go. And if he was looking for something probably in, he got it and he whacked it. He's good. I mean, what else can you say other than he's good? I mean, everything's been thrown out there. He won the Triple Crown. I mean, that hadn't been done forever, and he went out and did it, and did it in style. So it wasn't like this is a big secret, but Miguel Cabrera is pretty good.
So, AJ, you guys are in the middle of a beanball war going on again, too. Is that a lot to do with playing in the same division when we see these things?
What beanball war? No one's thrown at me yet. That's when the beanball wars usually start. It usually starts with me, and I haven't had anything to do with any of it.
I was going to say, and you're not even in the middle. I'm shocked.
I know. I had nothing to do with it. But, you know, it's one of those things where you play, especially the Red Sox and the Rays. I was laughing when we played the Rays last time, maybe in Tampa or in Boston, I don't know, but they ran it might have been, somebody ran a video montage of all the fights between the Rays and the Red Sox. It seems like there's 2 and 3 every single year, so it's not like it's something new this year. It just seems like one way or the other, one team's looking to get in a fight with the other team, and luckily I haven't been involved yet. No one's been hurt. It's kind of been foolish stuff, but I understand both sides of it. I obviously understand our side a little more than I understand their side, but you never want to see anybody get thrown at intentionally. You never want to see guys get thrown at up by their head area, which is the worst part.
1 ball, 1 strike is the count on Victor Martinez with Cabrera at second. He's got his second double of the night. The inning started with Eugenio Suarez hitting a home run into left in his first start in the big leagues. And the young man, who is 22 years old, made it a 5-1 game. And now Victor Martinez with a chance. He had an RBI double and a run scored in the first inning against Lester a little while ago, about an hour and a half ago. 2 balls and a strike, runner at second, 2 out. That's a good pitch from Lester. 2-2. If we don't, we got to get out of these half innings quickly. I know you want to chat up Ben Affleck down there during the break, AJ.
Yeah, do you want me to? I figured you guys would be hanging out tonight, Joe. The celebrities that you two are together. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys could fit in the same room, though.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. Reminds me of a line from Argo, but I'm just going to keep it to myself, AJ.
Well, if I'd seen that movie, I might know what you're talking about, but I missed that one.
Okay. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runner at second, 2 out. You got to support the Boston guys now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a 2-2. Chop foul.
I heard it was good, though. I heard it was a good movie.
It was good. I saw it, AJ.
I saw bits and pieces of it, but it's hard, man. Harold, you know, when you play this game, if you don't catch a movie in your hotel or on the flight, but it's hard because on the flights you got music going, you got people talking to you, and in the hotel room you got a million other things going on. So it's hard if you don't to find, you know, a couple hours to sit down and watch a movie.
There's so much fertile ground there to be mine. I'm just gonna let it go.
I'm ignoring it too. I wanted to ambush you so bad with that. I'm leaving you alone.
I laid you guys up. I was giving you guys an easy one there.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Martinez pops it up. Thankfully, the inning's over. The catch is made by Sizemore. AJ, good luck to you, buddy. And, you know, we've always enjoyed you at Fox, but have a great finish to the season with Boston.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's AJ Pierzynski. Home run by the kid. Bang. Eugenio Suarez, a home run. 5-1. Tigers on top after 4. a 4-run lead. 5-1 ball game into the 5th inning. Scherzer gave up a first pitch home run to Pedroia last inning. One of just 2 hits allowed, and here's Daniel Nava, who struck out his first time. Nava had a good year last year. Finally seemed to establish himself at the big league level. Had a year where he hit over 300. Was heavily involved in the mix during the postseason. Did not hit well during the spring. Got off to a terrible start and found himself back at Pawtucket, working on the fundamentals of hitting as he falls into the hole 0-2.
Yeah, I thought it was a little early to send him down, you know, without really giving him a good look and an opportunity to work through it. Now, I know obviously they felt like they saw some things in his swing that they didn't like, but he earned the cachet to go ahead and hit through it a little bit, I thought.
0-2 pitch is lined into right center field, a base hit. Nava is on. He will hold at first with a leadoff base hit. The first time the Red Sox have put their leadoff man on tonight. Next Saturday, it's a full day of MLB action beginning with these Tigers taking on Joe Mauer and the Twins. Then it's baseball night in America on Fox. Mike Trout and the Angels take on the Braves. The Nationals and the Cardinals are the Reds and Milwaukee. MLB doubleheader begins next Saturday at 4 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and continues at 7 Eastern right here on Fox. Here's Stephen Drew. Struck out his first time, trying to work his batting stroke back into shape after getting 10 games in the minor leagues and then rejoining the Red Sox at the big league level on Monday.
Yeah, I was talking earlier, his last at bat, how difficult it is to catch up in June. And what I mean by that is in spring training, everybody's on the even keel. I haven't seen a fastball, pitcher doesn't throw his curveball. You're working through all that. Now the pitchers are as sharp as they're going to get. You know, and they're going to continue to add on. It's tough for a hitter to jump in now and say, all right, here's 1-0. I might get a fastball. Here's a big league changeup. Now you're 1-1. It's difficult to catch up.
I think it's almost predictable that he would struggle at the start. Traditionally a slow starter anyway. The timing just is not there. They've tried not to overexpose him. Has not started a game against a left-hander yet. He just needs reps.
There's a strike to make it 2-1.
You know, and those are the pitches right there, 2-0, that you want him swinging at.
Again, this is the MO of the Red Sox. That's a take count for the Red Sox. The changeup left up in the zone. He's in take mode, giving Scherzer the strike.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch on the outside corner. Good pitch from Scherzer, 2-2.
So you just, I don't know. You're going to have a tough time getting back in this game when you're going to take 2-0. And now you find yourself, he paints one on the black, 2-1. He's just too good. It's tough. Like a little Joe Buck in college. You can't do that.
Nothing for 7 is number 7. Stephen Drew waiting for a 2-2 pitch after a leadoff hit by Nava. Might be. Not hard hit. The flip.
Oh, look at
the rookie. Got them both.
Did you see Kinsler get rid of that ball? Woo! That was pretty. That's what made it. I know Suarez got a great turn, but watch how quick Kinsler gets rid of it without a stride. As soon as it hits the glove, it's gone. And that's the beauty of being able to turn that. He gained 2 steps with that flip. Beautiful.
Thing of beauty. It's almost like it bounces off a brick wall. Just redirects it.
Awesome. Get it, let it go. No step, no stride. Gets rid of it, and then Suarez got a cannon. It was beautiful.
So a 4-6-3 double play, and the batter will be David Ross. Breaking ball has Ross fooled strike 1, so to go back through that at bat, 2-0 count. You take a pitch sitting there on 2-0 and then end up on 2-2, grounding into a double play. The frustration continues for Boston.
I'm with Harold, though. With Drew, I mean, he's in February or March mode, and the rest of the league is in June mode. You know, maybe a week from now, 2 weeks from now, he takes a swing at that 2-0 pitch. Just doesn't have his timing. The trouble, if you're Boston, is you sign this guy to re-energize your offense. You want something immediately, and you're going to have to be patient until Drew can give that to you.
And you move Bogarts out of shortstop to bring him on.
And that's all the more to get him on a 2-0 pitch. You're going to get a pitch to hit. Get him some confidence. Let him swing the bat 2-0. You can't sit there and take that pitch.
1-2 on Ross. With 2 out, nobody on. Scherzer will have to throw another.
Joe, you've seen Max a lot. How's he look? This one of his better games you've seen?
I would think so.
Yeah.
We saw him all obviously throughout the last couple of postseasons. When he's on, he's just pouring the ball in, hitting spots, and he's up on the count here. Struck out 6. He's allowed 3 hits, and that's a fair ball down the left field line, and Ross will dig for second with an easy stand-up double. Second hit of the inning, but a double play ball in the middle of it, and Scherzer will have to work to Bradley.
Way off the line with David Ross on this ball. He took about 7 steps before he dove.
Yeah, it just looked like a changeup Ross was out in front of. David Ross on 2 strike counts was 1 for 44 this year before that hit. It didn't add up if you matched up his 2 strike hitting against Max Scherzer's 2 strike pitching.
Wow.
Well, now Jackie Bradley Jr., who, if he's done one thing well with a bat, it's hit with runners in scoring position. Started this game hitting .286. He is driven in 20. That's tied for 6th among rookies. Trying to knock home Ross. And he takes a ball up and away.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when I was looking at the numbers that he had 20 RBIs. I thought it was a misprint. Had to go look at it again. When you're looking at a 199 average and you're thinking, wow, he's got 20 ribbies. That's pretty good.
This one is foul outside first, a ball and a strike. Well, there is no Jacoby Ellsbury. He's now with the Yankees, so they've got Jackie Bradley Jr. They're forcing him to figure it out. And then there's another young player that just got to AAA from AA, Mookie Betts, that seems to be on the fast track to Boston.
Yeah, I think the jury is still out as to how much this guy is going to hit. Over 300 plate appearances and really hasn't shown major league hitting ability quite yet. Again, he's a young player, needs more time. But again, the urgency of the situation forces the Red Sox to make some tough decisions. And I think Mookie Betts is in the conversation, Harold, in terms of getting him to the big leagues. Now, the guy was in AA a week ago, was a second baseman a week ago. Now he's transitioning to AAA and center field.
Well, we've all seen guys jump from AA to the big leagues. You know, if AA is the most difficult level, I thought, because it's more like what you're going to see at the big league level, the hard slider, the nasty split. And if you can perform in AA, that's why they jump guys from AA to the big leagues and not worry about AAA as a holding place. You know, it's that baseball purgatory, so to speak. You got older guys, younger guys, but the big talent is AA. And if you can jump to the big leagues from AA, if you've had a good solid AA, I didn't like my picture right there. Big smile, though.
1-2 the count. And he didn't go. 2-2.
You had a good picture there, though, Joe.
I wasn't too crazy about it, but hey, I'm getting old. This was just a check swing by Bradley Jr. and no swing, said the crew chief Bill Miller. So Scherzer has to bring home another. Your train of thought is fascinating.
I couldn't help it.
You mean there is one?
Yeah. Runner at second, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. Outside, a full count.
I'll tell you one thing, train of thought. The check swing right there. I had a long conversation with Wally Joyner. He said, when are they going to mandate that the home plate umpire cannot call the check swing? He has to ask for help. He just can't call it because it's hard to see the ball in the bat. He seems to think. Now, they've had Miguel thrown out of games. You watched several guys who said that's how you eliminate it.
Runner at second, 2 out, 4-run game. It's 5-1 as Bradley lines one into left. This ball's going to get down. They're going to bring Ross to the plate. No throw home by Davis, and it's a 3-run game. So Bradley Jr. delivers with a 2-out, 2-strike hit into left, and that's RBI number 21. And 3 hits in the inning as the double play is looking bigger and bigger off the bat of Stephen Drew.
He does it again. Harold hits well with runners on base. The 2-seamer running away from him, stays on it. That is a nice piece of hitting.
Well, it really was. Took that ball, shot it the other way. I thought the play by Rajai Davis, the decision not to throw home and to throw to second, keep that runner at first, was a great decision. A lot of times you see guys challenge that ball home, and Bradley ends up at second.
Here's Holt. Ball one down and in, and Brock Holt, who, as Tom mentioned, is facing another position change to the outfield maybe tomorrow night, has done one thing. He solidified that top spot in the order. He's got 9 doubles since the 20th of May. That's the best total since that date. He's been red hot. 0 for 2 tonight. Fly to right, struck out, and the count evens at a ball and a strike.
I mean, it's really, let's see how long it lasts. They're going to ride him until he cools down, and never had played first base. He learned it here in the big leagues. He's never played the outfield. They're going to throw him in the left field. That's how bad they need this guy, Shane Victorino, and the other outfielders back.
Victorino still has a way to travel with that bad right hamstring before he's back into a ball game. So Bradley Jr. gets the check from Max Scherzer. Victorino was moving around pretty well during early batting practice, and he said, you know, you just almost forget you're limping. He's been limping a lot in 2014 on the DL twice with that bad hamstring, and they're taking their time this time around. The 1-1. Chopped up the middle. Kinsler to his right. Tough play and safe. And it's 2 on, 2 out. Kinsler throwing across his body with the speed of Bradley going into second, and the inning continues.
I was shocked he didn't go to second base. You know, with this flip right here, just flip it to second. Suarez is there. You got to play. To come all the way across with Brock Holt, it's a tough play. I mean, look, I guess he felt like he didn't have a chance to get that ball out of the glove and transfer to second.
I was surprised, too. I mean, you're not going to get Brock Holt on that play. His only out possibility, I thought, was at second base. Wasn't hit especially hard. Holt runs pretty well.
There's Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, out to talk. Xander Bogaerts will be the hitter, and it's really the other part of the signing of Stephen Drew, and we really haven't talked about it, but Bogaerts started to go there. If you want to read through the quotes, obviously prefers to be the shortstop of the Boston Red Sox and is hoping that he can figure out third base again, but he wants to play short, and those days are over, at least for the rest of this season.
Yeah, and I didn't like the decision. I was a little critical of the Red Sox of it. And, you know, you stunted his growth a little bit. I understand why they did it. They don't have anybody else they felt like could fit at third right now, so you make your best option. You go move Xander over. But if he's your shortstop of the future and you're building around him, we'll see how this whole summer plays out.
Ball one.
Well, I agree with you, because to me, shortstop and center field, it's like point guard in basketball or quarterback in football. If you move that person off that leadership position, it's a demotion. There's no other way you can frame it. Barry Larkin retired rather than play second base. Derek Jeter will never play another position other than shortstop. Not saying that Bogaerts has earned that kind of respect, but once you're a shortstop, you know, Harold, that's in your blood, that's in your DNA. And John Farrell told us the first day they made that decision, he was down. Actually went out and had a bad game when he heard they were signing Stephen Drew. Now, obviously, he's come around since then, but I think that speaks to the responsibility you have at that position, and this kid loves that responsibility.
21 years old, and he has really figured a lot of it out at the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He's hitting .298. He's got 2 on, 2 out. Here comes a 1-1 from Scherzer, who all of a sudden is in some trouble here in the 5th. Time call. Ken Rosenthal is down at field level. Kenny?
Joe, one of the things the Red Sox factored in when they signed Drew is that even at 21, Xander Bogaerts is so mature that he could handle this. They expected that there would be a short-term letdown, but then they expected there would be an immediate buy-in, and that's what happened. Bogaerts said it was like going 0 for 5. You just had to turn the page.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 on, 2 out. A run is home for the Red Sox. Pitch maybe to hit, and it's chopped foul left side, as Boston here tonight is trying to break a 4-game losing streak.
The conversation at the mound right there with Scherzer is a big one with Jeff Jones, because it's a big at bat. Boom, you're back in it with a 3-run home run. You got Pedroia coming up next. You're in the heart of the order. This is a huge AB in the game right now. This is the turning point of the game.
Scherzer bearing down, trying to get Bogaerts, who waits for a 1-2. strikeout ends the inning. Bogaerts goes down swinging. That's strikeout number 7. And if that was a big at bat for Bogaerts, it's Scherzer who wins that battle. A run on 4 hits in the inning on a beautiful night in Detroit, Michigan. Tigers on top by 3. By Chevrolet, find new roads. We move into the bottom of the 5th inning. Torrey Hunter has an RBI hit. That happened back in the 1st inning. 1 for 2, takes a strike. John Lester is now within 3 runs as the Red Sox got a run at the top of this inning, knocked home by Jackie Bradley Jr. Hunter will start it. Then it's Castellanos who's homered tonight, and then Austin Jackson, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Detroit, as they come in 7 games over 500, 3.5 games up on the White Sox, who are at the Angels tonight. Here's a 1-1. There's Craig Breslow, the left-hander, getting loose. That's a strike. 2-2. Pitch number 86 on the night for John Lester.
You see how David Ross presented that ball right there? That's one of the reasons that they were wanting him to catch John Lester. He was able to get a little bit on the outside half and frame this ball.
Here is a ground ball right side. Pedroia knocks it down. Got it. What a play. A diving stop to his right. And he's done it since he came to the big leagues.
I just love this guy. I mean, what can you say? Knocked that ball down, scrambled to it. This ball's hit hard, too.
His range is ridiculous. Even when he plays in, he's got such quick reflexes that he gets, I think, more ground covered playing in to guard against a run scoring than any second baseman in baseball.
He's quick. A lot of work.
We saw that last year in the ALCS. We saw that in the World Series. Here's a ground ball base hit left side. And Castellanos is red hot. He is homered. He's lined out. Now he's singled. As we said, off back-to-back 3-hit games. Here's Pedroia last year, Game 6. Tigers at Fenway. Not showing the range, but the brain. The tag, the throw home, the double play, the flop.
Oh, gosh. That was one of those indelible memories from the moments in the World Series right there with him flopping down like that with Prince diving. What'd you do when you saw that, Joe? Oh, it's too serious. It's World Series, huh?
Yeah, it was ALCS.
Oh, yeah.
ALCS.
Yeah, ALCS.
1 on, 1 out. That pitch is down and in. Tigers didn't score again in that game. Boston won it, and the series on that 7th inning grand slam hit by the now injured Shane Victorino.
My favorite part of that play, though, is after he throws the ball, he immediately runs to be the backup guy at home plate.
Absolutely.
He is amazing.
Here's a fly ball into right that is missed by Sizemore, who's going to try to get the lead runner and cannot. Good effort by Grady Sizemore. Got there, didn't make the catch, and it's 2 on, 1 out.
Yeah, when that ball left the bat, I didn't think he even had a chance. He made this close.
Actually off the heel of the glove right there.
And that's going to be it for John Lester. So he's been frustrated since the beginning. He allowed a 2-out rally in the 1st inning. He has trailed since then. He has gone in the 5th. Breslow coming in for the Red Sox. Special ticket offers. Head to the ballpark with your friends and family. Go to MLB.com/Sunday. Sunday is tomorrow. These two teams will play a night game. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit MLB.com for details. We are playing in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's a 5-2 game, and Breslow takes over and fires a strike into the catcher Brian Holiday. And right now the bottom part of the order is 7 for 10 for the Tigers in this game after back-to-back hits by Castellanos and Austin Jackson here in the 5th. Breslow part of a good bullpen for Boston. Strike 2.
Well, you can clearly see the difference in the two offenses in today's game. I mean, it's almost what it has happened all season long. It's just played out for us.
12 hits by John Lester. It's only the 5th time in his career he's allowed 11 or more hits in a game.
Coming off a 12 strikeout game. He didn't get one tonight. Walked one, but has Tom said 5 runs, 12 hits, leaves with 2 guys on, and that's inside for ball 1. Holiday getting a chance to play. He's the backup to Avila.
That's just a career high. The 12 hits allowed by Lester. He's a guy with more than 200 career starts. Some of that bad luck, but I'm with you, Harold. A lot had to do with that Tigers lineup.
Runners at first and second, 1 out. That's hammered down the line. This ball is foul, as it took a dive to the left of the foul pole on a ball hit hard by Brian Holiday.
Well, I'll tell you what, both you guys talked about before the game. They're a better lineup against left-handed pitching, and clearly the Tigers are showing that tonight.
Well, they just set up better, was they can put Torrey Hunter in that number 5 spot. They may end up just leaving Torrey Hunter in the number 5 spot and forget about it. They got a home run tonight from their rookie shortstop. Last night it was Avila, who's hitting .217, batting 5th. With 2 on, 1 out, double play ball. Drew starts it, Pedroia in the middle, and the inning is over. Breslow comes on to bail Lester and the Red Sox out of the jam. Into the 6th inning we go in Detroit. This great city with the Tigers up by 3. Fox is sponsored by Bayer Back and Body, the official pain reliever of MLB, and by Burger King. Right now, try the new extra long BBQ cheeseburger. So that beautiful shot here on this gorgeous, cool evening in Detroit as we play on the 7th of June. 6th inning rolls in. Dustin Pedroia first up. Red Sox are in the ball game, down by 3. And they have Pedroia, Ortiz, and Sizemore coming up. Dustin homered his last time. That caught the outside corner. Good tailing action from Scherzer. It's 0-2.
This is the difference between a great big league pitcher and the minor leagues. He jumps in first pitch fastball, home run, last at bat. He starts him off with a slider, first pitch for a strike. A lot of guys will miss with that slider. They don't want to throw him the fastball, throw him the slider. Now he comes back with the fastball. He's down 0-2 before you blink.
Pedroia takes it just outside.
That was his first home run off of first pitch in 3 years. I mean, he really did jump him.
Wow.
I can't blame Scherzer for that one, but I like the adjustment that you talked about. Slider next time.
Here's one that's chopped up the middle. Tough play. That's the rookie, and got him.
What a play.
That's Suarez, and Eugenio, who has shown the arm homer tonight, makes this play. Let's look. Pedroia thought he was safe. Farrell out to argue, and we haven't seen the look that will determine.
Looks safe.
I look safe.
I'll tell you what.
Here's the best look. He is safe.
When this ball was hit, I didn't think it was even going to be close.
And we're going to have a review, and I would say that right foot comes down on the bag there before the ball's into the back of the glove. And this gets into splitting hairs.
Yeah. He looked out on that one. The others, he looked safe.
What do you think, Tom?
I think he was safe, but I agree with you, Joe. It's splitting hairs. As you mentioned, the rule is when the ball hits the back of the glove, it doesn't have to close around the ball or control it. Very close play, but the play by Suarez, amazing. The hands, soft hands, and quick release.
You got to remember, Pedroia's hitting this ball on the run. You know, he's leaning out a ball away from him, and he's running to first base. When it was hit, I thought not even going to be close. I'm telling you, right here,
I think he's safe.
He's not on the bag yet.
One more frame. How about now?
He's out.
He's saying out. This is our first disagreement. I'm saying safe. Tom, you're saying?
I'm saying safe.
But it's that close, and again, you come away from the play just marveling at the ability of Suarez. They've got a great one that started with the Boston Red Sox and Iglesias, who is out for the year with the bad shins. Here's another look from the other side.
This side he looks safe.
Okay, now you're on our
But the other side he looks out. That's a tough side. You know, Omar Vizquel, the infield coach here, and he works with the infielders here. He's the first base coach. He's gone home today for his son's graduation. Saw Suarez and said, we got a good one in this guy.
Safe. And the base hit starts the inning. And I think it's the right call, but if you consider where the Tigers have been and all the conversation, Tom, about Stephen Drew, and they lose Iglesias in spring training, and he's out for the year, they make the deal for the guy in the middle, Alex Gonzalez. He's cut in mid-April. Andrew Romine is still with the team, the switch hitter. Worth has been designated for assignment. Iglesias is out. They've got Suarez now playing, and he's one of two. They also have a kid, Hernan Perez, at AAA, who they like. As the shift is on for the Red Sox, and Ortiz hits one into left. Back is Davis for out number one. 1 on, 1 out.
Well, the question is Suarez the answer? And I think the Red Sox are going to give him a run here to find out. You know, talking to Brett Ausmus, it seems like he's the everyday guy, yet against some tough right-handers, I think they won't play him. So, as you mentioned, the Tigers have gone through, 4 or 5 shortstops already, and I think they'll wait to see if they have to go out in the market in July. Right now, this kid's got an opportunity.
Well, the tools are there. You know, it's just, will it show up night in, night out? Will he make the adjustments? I mean, what I've seen tonight, wow.
Well, the question I put to Brad was, are you comfortable with the left side of the infield of 2 rookies? This is not a rebuilding team. This team is built to go to the World Series.
Here's Sizemore. He hits one hard into left. Back is Davis in front of the track, 2 out. And on back-to-back pitches, Scherzer, who's at 88 pitches for the night, gets 2 outs here in the 6th inning and will deal with Daniel Nava. Max is looking for win number 7, coming off a loss to Seattle on Sunday. And a guy who, as we talked about, had his agent track the history of arm injuries with pitchers who are as established as Max Scherzer, turning down a big offer of $144 million.
I'd have him research it too if I was going to turn that money down.
1 on, 2 out. Strike 1. Research or not, it's fine until it's you. I mean, it's fine. That's other people. I mean, it's great. And the research, good job, Scott. Way to go. Nice job with the computers. But this is my arm. This is my life. This is $144 million. Insurance policy or not, that's tough to walk away from. Here's Nava off the end of the bat. That's going to drop in for a base hit. And Pedroia, who reached on an infield hit, will stop at second. 2 on, 2 out. And the tying run will come to the plate.
I think Nava's the key to the outfield problems for him to turn it around. I know we're waiting on Victorino and everybody else, but Daniel Nava brings something they don't have, that Victorino on the other. He brings power, and he brings it from both sides of the plate. And this is what they've been missing. You gave up Ellsbury, I get it. Jackie Bradley's not going to hit with power. This guy in their outfield problems right now, he's a problem solver if he can get right.
Something to build on today with 2 hits. You're absolutely right, though. We talk about Nava, Saltalamacchia, and Ellsbury and Drew. All guys had an OPS over 800 last year from the left side of the plate against right-handers, and that's what's been missing. The slugging from the left-hand side.
So Nava gets the base hit. The batter is Drew, and so far he is 0 for 8 in his return to the Red Sox lineup.
This is the 3rd bat I've seen him use tonight. He's trying to figure out something. Last at bat he had a black bat. First at bat he had a bat without any tape on it. Third at bat he's got a white bat taped up with the handle. He's trying to figure something out.
He's looking for the one with hits in it.
2-0 the count. Scherzer now fighting to get through the top of the 6th. An infield hit. Then a hit by Nava. Now base hit left field off the bat of Drew. That's his first of the year, and he's made it a 2-run game. Bedoya, who reached on the infield hit. That's the one, Harold, that we'll see in the next at bat.
Pick out a winner, Bobby. Just like the natural.
That's right. Wonder Boy, he is found.
This is a nice piece of hitting. But here, again, this is the pitch he took last at bat. That ball down the middle, you got to swing. You can't take that pitch. He took that last time. And this time he came back a little more aggressive and got a base hit. When you're playing catch up to everybody, you're not in the same mode you are at midseason. This isn't midseason, let me get to 2 strike counts and I'll do something damage. You got to do it now.
Now it's Ross. With 2 on 2 out, the tying runs are on in a 5-3 game, and Scherzer, who has never had a complete game in the big leagues, despite that great resume, he is not headed toward one tonight. Pitch number 96 will be an 0-1 delivery to David Ross. Runner is taking third. There is no throw as Nava got a great jump.
Well, and the catcher, Holiday, came up ready to go to second base. I thought that was pretty cool from our vantage point. He sees the jump Nava gets. He goes, I don't have a shot. I'm looking to second to get the out. Watch the catcher. He's off and running, but he's not even going to look to third. He's setting up going to second.
Yeah, and Drew didn't pick up Nava in time to take second base.
And what happens on that? When you're the back runner, you can't go in that situation unless you do get a jump. That's running on a green light. Not a sign.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Strikeout ends the inning, and for Scherzer, that's number 8. And the Red Sox have stranded 5, but they are chipping away at the lead. They made it a 2-run game. Bottom of the 6th inning rolls in. Tigers will bat up by 2.
treasure this week. Don Zimmer, 66 years in professional baseball, did just about everything in the game. Met Babe Ruth, played with Jackie Robinson, managed by Casey Stengel, and was a mentor to Derek Jeter. Of course, known to be the bench coach of those championship Yankee teams, but will be missed in so many places by so many people. A friend of Major League Baseball was lost.
We pick the action back up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Thank you, Tom. And Don Zimmer, who Red Sox fans are certainly familiar with, as a manager for Boston in 76, 77, 78, into 79. And as we said last week when we were saluting him from the booth at Fenway Park, there's a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. A manager who just managed by instinct and his gut feel. He was so fun to cover because you just didn't know what you were going to get. 1 ball, 1 strike on Suarez, who's been impressive here tonight in his first start. And the count 1-2.
I remember when he was managing the Cubs, he would put hit and run plays on with the bases loaded. He would do anything in the game. He kept you on your toes.
My memory of Zim is I can't think about Don Zimmer without thinking about his wife. They were together so long. You know, everywhere he went, you saw her. What a great family, great people. I mean, his baseball pedigree speaks for itself.
Yeah, Tom, you laid it out. I mean, you talk about somebody who bridged generations.
Yeah.
I mean, and this game has such an amazing ability, I have found in my life, really through my father, to keep a man young. And this game kept Don Zimmer young until he just couldn't fight anymore.
There's no question. And I don't think you see people like Don Zimmer in other sports where you can say he's a baseball man. And you know exactly what you're talking about, where he stays in the game, 66 years in the game. He liked to brag that he never got a paycheck outside of baseball. He's very proud of that.
The leadoff walk starts this inning from Breslow. The Red Sox are in this ball game, and they are to the point now where Scherzer maybe another inning, maybe not much more than an inning. And if you can get into the bullpen of the Detroit Tigers, there are opportunities there. If you're the Boston Red Sox, they've done a good job, as we heard from AJ earlier, staying in the game and staying after this to make this a 2-run ball game.
No doubt about it. They got a great shot. I mean, 2 runs is not something you cannot make up. And if you get extra innings, they've done this. They've drawn out. They continue to battle you. On the other side, the Tigers have let them back in it. You know, you had opportunities offensively to bury them and put them away, and they've continued to let them hang around.
Here's Rajay Davis with 1 on, nobody out after a leadoff walk. Check swing. He did not go, says the first base umpire Adam Hamari. Ball 1. Rajay has singled, driven in a run, 1 for 3. And after Davis, you get into Kinsler and Cabrera and Victor Martinez. That's why there's action with Tazawa in the bullpen for the Red Sox.
Didn't Breslow have the same major you did in college, Tom?
It was his molecular biology. Not quite the same as journalism. I think he was a double major, actually.
Here's a 1-0. Fouled away, 1 ball, 1 strike. So Breslow, who was really good for the Red Sox last year when they did that worst to first. So bad in 2012, so good last year, and at times in 2014 they've looked like last year, and at times in 2014 during a 10-game losing streak they look like 2012. As a check on the runner at first, and Suarez back easily.
Yeah, I was looking at Breslow's numbers. You know, the ERA is going to look really good at .89, but I started looking at the fact that he had 20 innings and given up 18 hits. You know, so it's not like he's just blowing guys away.
That's down and in, 2-1.
Well, I just saw that last inning, Harold. He'll allow base runners, but when he's got the changeup and sinker, he can get those double play balls to get out of those jams.
Absolutely.
The Red Sox feel like the one advantage they have over Detroit is if they can make this a bullpen game.
Two balls and a strike.
Well, and that's the question mark with Max Scherzer when you're looking at $144 million and no complete games. The burden of this club, the Tigers, is on the starting pitching to go deep in games. That's how they win. And if he's not going to go deep, that's a big gamble.
2-2. Well, the middle relief, until you get to the setup guy, and some teams have two, a lefty and a righty, and then the closer. But on any roster, when you're allocating funds and money, the middle relief is where the underbelly is in any bullpen.
Right.
And if you're not getting into the 8th inning and you're not getting the ball to the setup guy, you're leaving your team vulnerable to late inning runs. Here's a pop-up right side. Holt staggers, makes the play, 1 out. When you look at how they started, and then you go since, after a 21-8 start, 4-9 since, you see the ERA, how it's jumped. The opponent average has jumped with it. And the Tigers have struggled since the 18th of May with runners in scoring position. They snapped a 5-game losing streak last night. They lead here tonight. At one point it was 4-0. Now it's 5-3. And with 1 on 1 out, back to the bullpen goes John Farrell. They'll call on Tozawa. Happen every night in baseball, but on one night they all happen in one place. We can't wait. Tuesday, July 15th, Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's the All-Star Game. 7:30 Eastern on the air, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. And we look at the American League All-Star balloting, and you see the leading vote getters to this point. Donaldson having a great year out in Oakland. Miguel Cabrera here in Detroit. Derek Jeter, there's no way he doesn't go in his final year. Mike Trout, Bautista, Cabrera. Nelson Cruz down in that bottom right corner is the DH. He's only got 21 home runs and 55 RBIs. Matt Wieters has got the bad arm. But you can vote through July 3rd, not only in ballparks, but at MLB.com. 1 on 1 out. The batter is Kinsler, and that's a breaking ball It stays high. Ball one from the right hand of Junichi Tozawa.
I like this move by John Farrell. This is his 8th inning guy. It's the earliest he's brought him into a game this season. And I think he senses, guys, his team's in this game, still has a chance. But you have to stop it right now. He's regarding this inning as a high leverage spot for Tozawa.
Well, and they're scuffling. I mean, you got to win a game when you got a chance to feel like you got a shot one night to win a game. That's how poorly they've been playing. You know, he feels like, hey, this is a one night we might get a W. I got to empty my guns.
2-0 the count. Kinsler is the only guy in this lineup for the Tigers that doesn't have a hit. Popped up. Fly to left, fly to right. Cabrera on deck. Runner at first. That's Suarez. Here's a 2-0. That's into the gap in right center field. It's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Digging for third, Suarez. He's coming to the plate on an RBI triple by Ian Kinsler. It's 6-3.
Well, that's a great piece of hitting. You know, you don't see Tozawa get behind very often. Many times I've seen him pitch. That's the first time I've really seen him get behind on a hitter. Kinsler does a great job of not trying to pull the ball. Go ahead, and if he's going to stay out there, drive it to right field. He's done that tonight, and that's been a big change with him coming to Detroit. He hooked everything last year, the last couple of years in Texas. He's come back here now. He's lost some weight. He wants to get back to being that player that's going to shoot the ball over the field. He's doing a nice job.
And now an infielder's nightmare.
I was just going to say,
you come in with Miguel Cabrera at the plate.
Oh, they just tiptoe in.
You give him the glove and say, you do this.
Kinsler at third, one out for Cabrera, who's been on base 3 times tonight, and now 4. And he's got another RBI. He makes it 7-3 on a base hit. RBI number 51.
Again, first pitch. You know, I find it interesting how you not only make adjustments in the season, but last year in the postseason, remember how Tozawa ate up Miggy? He wasn't going to wait around. Here it is. I got my pitch. I'm shooting it up the middle.
So Kinsler scores. He had the RBI triple. And just like that, it's 7-3.
I still like the move going to Tozawa here.
Well, I mean, you have to like it. You got Kinsler, Cabrera, Martinez, a switch hitter. His power side is on the right side. It called for a power right-hander. Once again, the Tigers' hitters have been better than Boston's pitchers.
Now it's Victor Martinez with Cabrera at first, 1 out. Victor 1 for 3, strike 1. And you look at the difference in the 2 first basemen, just size-wise. Miguel Cabrera and Brock Holt.
May as well put Rosenthal over there. Goodness.
0-1 the count. Breaking ball grounded to Bogaerts. Out at second, out at first, and that was with Stephen Drew tanking the throw from Xander Bogaerts. 6-5-3, and the double play ends the 6th. 7-3 is the score. Detroit leading after 6 at Comerica. has taken you on an extraordinary journey, but they've saved the best for last. Be there for the unforgettable conclusion to television's greatest adventure, the finale of Cosmos, a space-time odyssey, tomorrow at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, here on Fox. Jackie Bradley Jr. will take on Max Scherzer, and pitch number 98 is upstairs, ball 1 to start the 7th. It's a 4-run game again after the Tigers got 2 runs in the 6th. That pitch misses, and the count goes to 2-0. It's a left-hander, Phil Koch, getting loose for Detroit. And he's been anything but automatic this season for the Tigers. Big swing on 2-0. As Andrew Miller, the left-hander, gets loose for the Red Sox. 2-2.
Back-to-back changeups. That's dirty right there. That's what separates Max from most of the pack, to be able to do that.
That's fouled. When you talk about the Boston offense and what they're getting out of their outfield, as a group, they came in tonight hitting .215. They're slugging .323. On base percentage is down. The OPS at .612. And when you saw that .215 average, I mean, as a group, this is since 1961. And then that bottom line, .285 last year out of their outfielders. What a change from 2013 for John Farrell's crew.
Well, if you're going to build any championship club, you got to have some stock, particularly in the American League, from the outfield. You just have to. It's got to happen.
Maybe that ballpark too. In Fenway Park is your home park.
I know. Wow.
John Farrell talked about the disconnect of being 5th in the league in on-base percentage, but 12th in runs, and it's because you're not getting extra base power out of the outfield.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Jackie Bradley Jr., and that's going to put him on base to start the inning. I don't know if that caught him or if it's just ball 4, and Ken Rosenthal is with us, the former friend of Harold Reynolds. Kenny, you got more on that outfield and the lack of production.
Well, it's kind of amazing, Joe, the impact of Jacoby Ellsbury and the impact of the loss of Jacoby Ellsbury. The Red Sox didn't really replace him. They relied on Jackie Bradley. Jackie Bradley has not hit. They brought in Grady Sizemore. Grady Sizemore has not hit. You guys have touched on Nava and his decline. Mike Karp has not given them the same production. And it kind of leads me into another area, but you wonder now, with John Lester a free agent, if the Red Sox will treat him a little bit differently, because they've seen the impact of the loss of a huge star.
Well, here's a fly ball into left center field off the bat of Holt. The difference is, Kenny, and you can stay with us, is it seems like, as you look at the difference in production from the center field spot, Ellsbury, who had the year last year, and then what's going on out of the center field position, namely Jackie Bradley Jr. on the right side. If the Red Sox have one thing in the minor leagues they would have the ability to go to, it seems like it's young pitching.
That is true, Joe. The question is, will any of those young pitchers develop into a John Lester, and how long would it take for one of them to develop into a John Lester? Now, the other side of that argument, of course, is, do you want to give John Lester a 6-year, say, $115 million deal when he is entering his 30s, when he has pitched a lot of innings, just as Max Scherzer has? It's not an easy call.
1 on, 1 out. The batter is Bogaerts, who's 1 for 3. That's a strike. The other part of it, Tom and Harold, is what's going on with Clay Buchholz. I mean, they hope to get him back, but we talked to John Farrell about it last week, and it's not just mechanical. There's a physical part to this thing, and then there's a mental confidence part to it for Clay Buchholz.
That's a big part of it, the confidence part, just not trusting his stuff. And I think the rebuilding of Buchholz has as much to do with the confidence as his mechanics. Right now they say he's healthy. He's on the disabled list.
That's strike 3 over the outside corner, and strikeout number 9 for Scherzer.
Tell you what Scherzer does, he freezes the base runner. He also freezes the hitter. We talked about that earlier. But back to your conversation real quick. The crime that would happen with Lester is when Scherzer becomes a free agent, they start bidding on him. You already know it's 144 and up. So you're sitting there and you're going, we got Lester, and you may be able to get him at a decent price. Now all of a sudden, if you go start talking to Max Scherzer, that's the offense, because you know what Lester's going to give you in that ballpark.
1 on, 2 out. The batter's Pedroia. He's homered tonight. Now he's got his 3rd straight hit. And it's 2 on with 2 out for David Ortiz. Well, they've had discussions as Phil Koch is getting loose, and we could see him right here with John Lester, but not in the same stratosphere as the discussions that happened between the Detroit front office and Max Scherzer as far as what they were willing to commit dollar-wise.
Now look at Max right there. He's a competitor. He wants to stay in the game here. That's a stare down of Brad Ausmus right there.
I love that. I love it. I want the ball. I love it. It's my guy. How great is that, Joe?
Those two are eye to eye, and Ausmus says, fine, go get him.
He just talked himself, or I'll say used his eyes to keep in the game here, because I guarantee you Brad Ausmus wanted the lefty on David Ortiz, and you saw the look in the face of Max Scherzer. I think Brad Ausmus is doing the right thing.
But Brad's walking back right now going, yes, yes, my guy is reaching down. I love it. You know, that's what you want to see. Look, he's got 4 runs to play with right here that tie the game. You're only going to get 3 if he happens to hit one out of the ballpark. But moving forward from June, July, August, September, this is your horse. He's one of your horses. You love that as the manager. Love it.
So the battle with David Ortiz up by 4. Ortiz can only make it a 1-run game as Scherzer misses outside. And if you're Ortiz, you know after that meeting, he was watching with the rest of us. Ausmus went out there ready to make the pitching change, and Scherzer talked his way into this at bat. You know Scherzer's going to come after you if you're David Ortiz. He didn't stay in the game to walk him. The count's 1-0. Ortiz hitless on the night.
But to that point, Joe, it's coming after him. He's going to come after you, but how? This isn't the same as having Napoli sitting on the on-deck circle. He's still not going to get much to hit. Well, even if he walks him, you got Sizemore up left with Koch out there.
But you know he's emptying it right here. First pitch at 96.
What's it going to be on 2-0? 2 on, 2 out. And he spins.
I didn't like that pitch.
He rethought that.
Yeah.
David Ortiz has hit 13 home runs, and he's fooled on the pitch. 88 from Scherzer. It's 2-1.
I think he wanted to challenge him with a fastball, and then he stepped out and said, "Hold it, I'm not throwing him a heater here." He came back with a changeup. I wonder if he goes back-to-back changeups. We saw him do that a few times. Look at where he's throwing the ball.
Nowhere near the heart of the plate to David Ortiz. Away and down. Here's a 2-1. Does not get the corner. 3-1.
See, he wants some of him, but he doesn't want some of him.
He don't want all of them.
No.
He wants the far corner of the plate as the count's gone to 3-1. And now Scherzer is going to make Holiday go through the signs again.
Well, you got Jackie Bradley sitting out there at second base. When a guy's out there that long, you want to mix him up.
Here comes a 3-1. That's in the air to left. Davis on the run, can't get it. It takes a bounce, goes off the wall. 1 run will score. They hold Pedroia, and it's a 7-4 game as David Ortiz wins that battle. Scherzer talked his way into it and gives up the RBI double here in the 7th, and that's going to be it.
Well, we talked about emptying the tank. Knew his last hitter started with the 96-mile-an-hour fastball away, the slider down. Here was the outstanding changeup and a fastball count. Now he's got another fastball count. I thought he'd go back to the changeup. Instead, he went back to the fastball at 97 and left up in the zone to Ortiz. Ortiz struck out on that pitch in the 4th inning. Had him measured on that one right there.
Yeah, so Scherzer is gone. And Al Albuquerque's coming into the game. Second and third, 2 out, a 3-run game, as the fans let Scherzer hear it on his way out. And Scherzer, they combined for 11 innings pitched and 23 hits allowed. And the frustration for Scherzer after talking his way into that battle with David Ortiz. Ortiz got him for the RBI double to make it 7-4. Now the tying run at the plate, and Albuquerque pitches to Sizemore, strike one.
Tell you what, in this day and age, Joe, with so many pitching changes and matchups, I love the Scherzer Ortiz. We need to see the best guys in the best moments going man to man. I loved it. Made the game.
Runners at second and third. We're only in the 7th, and now strike 2. The Red Sox have Sizemore at the plate. He's 0 for 3 tonight, hitting under 200 over his last 38 games. Not many options. Ground ball right side. That's Cabrera. Albuquerque inning over. Albuquerque comes on, gets Scherzer and the Tigers out of further damage. A run scores on the double by Ortiz. 3-run game. Time to stretch. Official beer of Major League Baseball. They present the walk-off. Great walk-offs are waiting at foxsports.com/Budweiser. Grab some buds. The walk-off came for Max Scherzer after the double by David Ortiz. It ended his night. Albuquerque got out of further damage, and it's 7-4. And you can see Scherzer saying that he appreciates that chance that his first-year manager, Brad Ausmus, gave him to face David Ortiz. Didn't work out, but he wanted that battle. Here's a line drive base hit into center off the bat of Torrey Hunter, and Andrew Miller is greeted with that.
Man, the Tigers are no joke. You better be ready first pitch. I'm telling you, they are swinging it.
Well, especially fastballs. That's what they do. They go up there hunting fastballs early in the count.
There are the numbers for Andrew Miller, who is the fourth pitcher of the night. Tazawa before him, Breslow. Lester started, couldn't go 5, allowed 5 runs on 12 hits. And now it's Castellanos who's trying for his 3rd straight 3-hit game. All that work with Wally Joyner, the hitting coach of the Tigers, is paying off. Ball 1.
Yeah, they're really focused on making sure you hit strikes. Be aggressive and hit strikes. And he's always had a pretty good idea of his strike zone. But what happens a lot of times when you're a youngster, you get in the big leagues, you start rushing and you start chasing pitches you can't handle. And it doesn't even have to be a youngster. It can be a veteran too. You got to be reminded of that. He's got focused in real well.
There's a strike. Ball and a strike. Castellanos homered in the 3rd inning, his 5th, and then one of the highlights tonight for the Tigers came from their number 9 man, Eugenio Suarez, the rookie shortstop, who's made some good defensive plays and hit his first big league home run. That's a strike. It's 1-2. There's Suarez. What an opportunity for a 22-year-old kid. 12 games at AAA, big numbers at AA, and now here he is in the big leagues.
You know, he's bigger than I thought he was too. He's stout, thick legs, heavy trunk. That's why the ball rocketed out of here the way it did.
Eugenio, the home run back in the 4th inning. Tigers have never trailed in this game. They got 2 runs in the 1st, a run in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 6th, and Jabba Chamberlain is getting loose. Jabba has developed into their 8th inning guy and somebody who's been able to spell Nathan when he's needed it. We've gotten some big outs from Chamberlain this year. That's fouled away off to the right. I didn't know, Tom, if he'd ever get back into that form where you could trust him with a lead in the 8th.
Well, he certainly wasn't that pitcher at all for the New York Yankees last season. He was not in high leverage situations at all, but the velocity's back, the slider is back. The tilt on the slider is really what his game is all about. He's got it back, and right now Brad Ausmus has this game where he wants. He's got it set up for his 8th inning guy Chamberlain and Joe Nathan behind him for the 9th.
Here's a 1-2 ground ball base hit. Another 3-hit game for Castellanos. Drew had vacated the area, and it's 2 on with nobody out. And with that, we remind you tonight's game on Fox sponsored by Budweiser. Designate a driver and enjoy the great times. And by the new Samsung Galaxy S5. The next big thing is here. Batter will be Austin Jackson with 2 on and nobody down.
You know, it's amazing that they didn't pitch to the defense.
Oh, Joe, you called it. I mean, you saw Drew shade actually move towards the left. And Miller's throwing a slider. He's going to break into a right-handed hitter. You figure he's going to roll over and pull it. And the hole got a little bigger.
Austin Jackson has 3 hits tonight. Takes a ball inside from Miller. Austin 3 singles. And a run scored.
I know, Tom, you wouldn't want to see him bunt here, but I wouldn't have a problem with it if he tried to bunt for a hit.
How did I know you were thinking of that right now?
That's not in his game anymore, though, and it should be. I mean, this is a layup. You got first and second. You know the third baseman's going to have to field the ball, and you get the runners moved up. You get them up, you get them over, you may even get a base hit, and the guys behind you are swinging the bat. I don't get it.
Here's a 2-0. 3-0, not even getting a chance as Miller has missed for the first 3.
Yeah, I think a lot has to do with where you are in the batting order. And Suarez, yes, he's got a home run, but bunting up for the 8 and 9 hitters, I would not be a big fan of that. This guy's got 3 hits. You know he can run into one and lose one and put 3 runs on the board with 1 swing.
Well, yeah, I mean, the count is going to dictate it. As he got ahead in the count, it's not that great of an idea. You get a chance to look his focus in and drive a ball, but it's not part of his game anymore, and it should be.
Mujica, the right-hander, is getting loose. So on a night where John Farrell needed good work out of his bullpen that's been good this year, his bullpen has let him down, and that walk will load the bases. With Holiday coming up, and John Farrell, I'm sure it's running through his mind. The one thing he's been able to count on is good work out of those guys coming in from beyond the fence, and tonight it didn't happen with Tazawa, now Miller, and here's Holiday.
No, you're right. He talked about that. My bullpen's been my strength. If there's anything that could rely on, it was the bullpen.
Infield is in. Holiday takes his strike. He bounced into a double play his last time up after blasting one down the left field line that ended up foul. We'll take the out at the plate first if they can on the infield. That's upstairs, ball 1.
Their bullpen ERA is the lowest for a Red Sox bullpen since 1917. I didn't even know they had bullpens in 1917.
Here's a 1-1. Fly ball into center. That's going to drive Bradley back. Hunter will tag, come to the plate. The only man to advance, and it's 8-4 here in the 7th. On a sac fly by Holiday, his 6th RBI of the year.
Holiday's having a good day swinging the bat. It's a nice piece of hitting right there to drive the run in. But he's really been having a nice stroke all night. I know you talked about Joe. He missed the ball. He pulled foul. Just take it back up the middle, do something good with the ball, and pick up a run.
And now Eugenio Suarez, who has homered, walked. He scored 2 runs. He's made a good play flashing across the middle on a near out and a ball hit by Pedroia. Back in the 6th, and that is down and in, ball 1.
I think this kid's going to be a player. I love watching him hit. He's got an idea what he's doing. His hands are in a good position. And he doesn't have the pressure. He doesn't have to hit necessarily on this club.
That is foul right side.
Yeah, I like what Justin Verlander said, where he looks like he belongs already. The at-bat that he had on the home run. Check this out before the home run. He's talking to himself up there at the plate. Little reminders, I'd imagine. And wham! Even a little skip there, knowing they caught that one on the barrel.
Here's a little flare in his shallow right. Out to get it is Pedroia, 2 down. That was Matt Martin, by the way, coaching at first base. It got out of the way of that foul hit by Suarez a moment ago, as Harold said. They are without Omar Vizquel, who is at a graduation, so it was Martin getting the opportunity to show his athleticism. And Suarez will end the night 1 for 3. And here is...
Ooh, took a bad hop on it.
Well, a 2 on 2 out. Here's Davis. And Rajay takes strike 1. One hit tonight, an RBI base hit in the second. Every spot in this lineup for the Tigers has at least one hit. That's strike 2. Talk about the 5 through 6 hitters, 5 through 9 rather, for Detroit. It's been good tonight. Hunter has a couple of hits. Castellanos has 3. Jackson has 3. Holiday with a base hit, now a sac fly, and the number 9 man Suarez with a home run. So they've been looking for production. They got it tonight as they try to win their 2nd in a row and send the Red Sox to their 5th straight loss.
You get production at the bottom like that, you're going to win some games.
With this pitching and the guys they have in the middle, that makes this team almost impossible to beat. The 1-2 slashed at, back to the screen.
Yeah, 19 base runners in 7 innings for the Tigers, kind of consolidating the game they played last night. Remember, they were scuffling before this series. Last night they got a good start from Drew Smiley. The bullpen throws shutout baseball. The offense cranks out 13 hits. They're building on something now.
1-2. 2-2.
Yeah, there's a little swagger with this club, and I tell you what, when Rajai Davis is in the lineup, what he brings, he just brings a different element. Being able to put that pressure on the pitcher, starting the game off early. You go him and Kinsler at the top. I love it.
The 2-2 fouled away. Dave Clark makes the play, third base side.
Yeah, I want to take you back to a play earlier in the week when they're on the West Coast trip. You know, here's the type of things that Rajai does. Okay, he's not running on the pitch, he's running on the catcher. You drop to the knee, I'm off and running. You know, those are the things that you do, you look for. You practice it, you think about it. I saw him do this in Toronto a couple times. Smart, heads up, love it, create things.
2-2 pitch, a check swing, and since 2010 among active players, Rajai leads baseball in stolen bases with 191. Wow. He's changed the feel with this team almost single-handedly. Kinsler's got a lot to do with it, but for a team that was last in the big leagues in stolen bases a year ago with 35, they already have 41 this season.
Yeah, and it's not even just a stolen base, it's a ball in the gap. How many times have we watched balls in the gap tonight and runs were able to score? They didn't do that. They were station to station. 2 hits are going to score somebody. It's tough to get 2 hits in an inning.
Runners will go from first and second. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and time called by Ross. That is ball 4 to load him up. Second walk of the inning. Second time the Tigers have loaded the bases here in the 7th. And the batter will be Kinsler. Fans, follow every game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download at the App Store or visit MLB.com today. No move to Mujica. With a right-hander Kinsler coming up, it's Miller with the bases loaded, 2 out. Strike 1. These two were teammates in college for a short while. Ian Kinsler on the right, Dustin Pedroia on the left at Arizona State.
Wow. Clean shaven.
Kinsler assessed the situation and figured that he wasn't going to get the playing time that he needed. He ended up at the University of Missouri. And Dustin Pedroia, not too long after that picture was taken, was the Rookie of the Year in the American League with the Red Sox.
Good move by Kinsler. It's like we were talking about Mookie Betts when Dustin Pedroia signed his long-term contract. His agent said, please move him to the outfield.
Here's a check swing. He didn't go. Ball 1. I mean, if you're that is stability for the Red Sox and a complete roadblock for any minor league aspiring second baseman in the Red Sox organization because of him.
Yeah, but you never know. I mean, Mookie's a big trade chip too, if need be. I mean, those are the things you look at as a kid. Just keep playing.
Strikeout ends the inning. Kinsler ends the 7th. The Tigers get a run. Lead by 4 again. It's 8-4 as we go to the 8th. In Detroit, all of us at Fox want to send our prayers, best wishes, and condolences to the family of Gus Johnson, our colleague at Fox. Gus lost his mother, B. Troy Johnson. Gus credits her with giving him his love of sports. Great softball player, he says, a home run hitter, lived in the area. And from all of us at Fox, thinking of you, Gus, and certainly sorry for your loss as we go into the 8th inning in an 8-4 game. The Red Sox will have Daniel Nava, Stephen Drew, and David Ross against Jabba Chamberlain, who now has a 4-run lead to try and protect here in the 8th. The numbers are good. He would get himself into trouble with the Yankees falling behind hitters. The stuff wasn't what it was when he first burst onto the scene, because when he first came up, he was unhittable and was the bridge to the best to ever do it, Mariano Rivera. You think Jabba Chamberlain, you think about midges in Cleveland. He's had some health issues since. Tried to make him a starter, which never worked out. But he is rounding back into form as a late inning reliever, and the Tigers are glad they've got him.
What is it when guys leave New York, Tom, that they go grow the beard or some facial hair? What's the deal?
They can't wait. Can't wait. He's got a lot going on right there.
I don't think he's shaved since he left.
I thought you were going to say, how about leaving New York lately and finding success, whether it's Jabba Chamberlain, Phil Hughes with the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah.
He beat the Yankees a couple of Sundays ago.
He looks like a totally different pitcher, Phil Hughes. He's throwing the ball great.
Yeah, his strike percentage is among the best in the major leagues, going right after hitters, and that has to be the change in ballparks.
That is ball 2. 2-2. There are the numbers for Jabba, and how about a 6-1 record for Hughes, but 56 strikeouts to 8 walks. An ERA of 3.12, and using that big target field to his advantage. Now a 2-2 from Chamberlain. It hits Nava to put him on. Job of Chamberlain hits Daniel Nava, who reaches for the 3rd consecutive time.
You know, here's how you turn that bat around: is the pitch before the fastball Java threw. When you're scuffling, that's a strike. He comes back and hits him with the next pitch.
Well, you can almost book it with Java. If he's got 2 strikes on a left-handed hitter, he's going to throw that slider underneath the hands. Just held that onto that one a little too long. Not the way you want to start the inning.
So now Stephen Drew, who had an RBI single his last time up, a 2-out RBI single, his first hit and his second go-around with the Red Sox, takes a ball.
He's got the wonder bat.
His 3rd bat was the charm, as Harold was paying attention up here in the booth. Checking out the lumber every time up, and Stephen found one he liked. Basically a $10 million deal for the remainder of the season. As he flies one into center, easy for Austin Jackson. 1 on, 1 out. To give you a summary, as we play here in the top of the 8th inning, Drew is now 1 for 4 and 1 for 10 since coming back. The Tigers have been hitting since the start. Eugenio Suarez with his first career home run in his first big league start. And the Red Sox have lost 8 of their last 9 regular season games here in this park. And now A.J. Pierzynski will come off the bench and bat for David Ross.
He gets
here in the 8th.
Everywhere, doesn't he? They're just round of boos for A.J. Why are they booing him in Detroit? What did he do to the Tigers?
Minnesota, I guess. White Sox. He used to live in this division. Talked to him before the game. I said, kind of along those lines, he said, that stuff used to bother me. I'm too old now to even care what people say. Doesn't even faze him. Hitting .277, 4 home runs, 27 RBIs, strike 1.
Tell you what, he's exactly what I talk about a lot of times with veteran hitters. If your body can hold up, you figure out how to hit as you get older. He's become a better hitter in the last 5 years than he was the first 5.
Say what you want about his start with the Red Sox, as he is now in the hole 0-2. He's got 24 RBIs, which is tied for the most among catchers in the American League. And he's been doing it for a long time.
He's become a good hitter. He really has.
Wearing the Red Sox, and he used to play for the White Sox. Won a World Series there in 2005 with that 4-game sweep over Houston. Backs out of there before an 0-2 pitch. That is just out of the strike zone, ball 1.
It's a good pitch. A nice job by Holiday of framing the pitch to try to steal it.
Pierzynski gets the call. Albuquerque got the only hitter he faced. First inning for Chamberlain, and the at-bat continues.
Oh, emergency hack right there.
He is the master at those emergency hacks. Really, his foul ball percentage is off the charts because of swings like this. I mean, he's just protecting there, letting that ball travel. Almost hit it out of his glove.
Pierzynski waits with a runner at first. Nava 1 out. And now backs out of there. It's a night game tomorrow night, the finale of this series, with Lackey 6-4 against Anibal Sanchez, who's been so good. Just 2 wins, spent some time on the DL, but an ERA of 2.15. There's Lackey with Jake Peavy to his right. Napoli will be in the lineup tomorrow. There's another.
I don't know how he's able to do that.
This is not going into the instructional video.
You know, Wade Boggs could do that with the best of them too. I don't know how you do it.
I mean, that is great hand-eye coordination to be able to put the bat on the ball just to stay alive.
No doubt. It's crazy.
And a little golf shot over to first. Out at second and safe at first. As Pierzynski won the race to the bag and beat Chamberlain over there. A good try by Suarez in the middle. And Pierzynski bounces into the force out.
That's a heck of a play by Miggy. Now, here's the emergency hack. This ball looked like it was going to bounce. But Cabrera gets this thing and cuts off the lead runner. And that's just to show you the arm of Suarez. He doesn't use a stride right here. Look at this. Wow.
I'm still laughing at AJ's swing. It's like he was getting attacked by a bee. Get away from me.
So the number 9 batter is Jackie Bradley Jr. with Pierzynski at first, 2 out. Jackie with an RBI hit tonight. He's also walked and scored a run. And I know you, Harold, will come away from this game impressed by 2 things. Not just the play of Eugenio Suarez, but what caught your attention tonight was Max Scherzer begging to stay in the game to face David Ortiz.
I loved it. You know, and that's something that you can track throughout the rest of the year. It just, you know, a lot of times when you have a guy who hasn't had a complete game, you think, okay, he wants out of games early. To see him argue and fight for this right here, I loved it. It just showed a fire deep down inside. You got David Ortiz up to the plate. In a situation, he gives up a home run. They're basically back in the game. I just thought that was a moment I won't forget.
You could read the lips. I want the ball. I want this guy.
Ausmus, the first-year manager, let him have it. Brad Ausmus, 45-year-old first-year manager of the first place club, as that's upstairs 2-2. And the inning will continue. Pepsi's real big things you need to know about Brad Ausmus. Baseball teammate in high school with Brian Leach, NHL Hall of Famer. And the only active manager to graduate from an Ivy League school. He went to Dartmouth. The strikeout of Jackie Bradley Jr. ends the inning. And in this game, the Red Sox have stranded 8. Who's coming up? This guy, Miguel Cabrera. He'll lead it off. Bottom of the 8th inning. The game's best hitter coming up for his Tigers, up in the game by 4. Cabrera's coming up. He's had a big night, on base 4 times tonight. Couple of doubles, an RBI single, a run scored. The Game Changer Profile brought to you by T-Mobile, official sponsor of Game Changers. And the season comparison as you go year by year. You have the Triple Crown winner back in 2012. You have the back-to-back MVP seasons. The average is down. The home runs about even back to 2012. And the RBIs actually better as he will step to the plate here tonight in 2014 than when he won it the Triple Crown 2 years ago.
And part of that is because Victor Martinez has been so great behind him.
Mojica takes over on the mound. You saw A.J. Pierzynski stays in the game behind the plate. And Mojica, in his first year with the Red Sox, misses upstairs ball 1. Game number 24 for Mojica as the count's 2-0. Depending on which way Brad Ausmus wants to go, he's got Reed and Nathan, a couple of right-handers, getting loose. 2-1. This team needs to get Joe Nathan on a roll. He worked an inning last night, said it was baby steps, staying taller, getting that angle back to the plate. He's coming off a rough stretch after having a pretty good run there from mid-April as Cabrera fouls one back and out of play.
Actually got booed off the mound here earlier in the week, but you mentioned the game he threw last night. I thought his stuff was much better. For me, it's all about that slider, and he had the tilt back, and you said it, Joe, a little taller, get the downward tilt on that slider. It's an unusual pitch because he really relies on it to go down, not so much away, and he had that back last night. That was a good sign.
Converted 10 straight save chances between mid-April and mid-May. A strikeout starts the inning. You don't see that very often. Miguel Cabrera striking out. Mojica gets him. You also don't see a Triple Crown very often. And in the horse racing world, we'll wait at least one more year. Triple Crown history, AL Triple Crown. It was Yaz in '67. 45 years later, Miggy Cabrera in 2012. There are the numbers. And the drought. Who would have known the last time it happened in horse racing affirmed back in 1978. It's been 36 years and we're still going.
Wow.
As California Chrome came up short today.
You think Miggy was paying attention to the race today? Triple Crown winner.
Yeah.
To see if he had some company in another sport.
Yeah, I talked to him about it before the game. He was definitely interested. This whole team, they were all into it.
Victor Martinez hits one into center. That's well hit. Back is Bradley. He can chase him down with the best of them. 2 out. He went a long way to get it and made it look easy. So with 2 out, nobody on, the batter will be Torrey Hunter in tonight's game on Fox, sponsored by Moto G from Motorola and by the makers of One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB. Royals beat the Yankees tonight. Royals trying to get their footing in the AL Central. They started the day 5 out. It looks like they'll stay there, while the Yankees will stay at 6 out. And the Red Sox, barring a big comeback next inning, will stay 10 out as Toronto lost earlier today to St. Louis. Strike 1 on Torrey Hunter.
You know, that play by Jackie Bradley right there, you don't see that in Fenway Park. You don't get to see him run like that, you know, in those small confines.
He went after that ball like you went after the tray of food behind us. It was dropped off by the good folks here at Comerica. Executive Chef Mark Zubizak with Delaware North Company. The Poutine Dog. Here's a ground ball right side. Pedroia makes the play. The Detroit Coney Dog. 313 authentic tacos. Late night tots. Strawberry shortcake.
All
gone. All gone.
All gone. An entire tray is in the belly of Harold Reynolds as we go to the 9th inning.
I feel so sick.
Tigers up 4. Manager Brad Ausmus of the Tigers. He has chosen to go with Joe Nathan when we did it. Pepsi's Real Big Things. It's brought to you by Pepsi. Make it a real big summer with 3 new flavors of Pepsi made with real sugar. As Joe Nathan takes over here with a 4-run lead, not a save opportunity for Nathan, trying to build on his outing last night, and he will deal with the top of the order. First one is inside, ball 1 to Brock Holt, who's 1 for 4.
You know, when you're a closer and your team doesn't win consistently, you've watched it with Boston, you've watched it with Detroit, you don't get in games. You know, so you don't get in the rhythm that other players do.
Well, they did come into this series having lost 5 in a row. Nathan did pitch during that stretch. As Tom mentioned, he had a rough one. But he is into the ball game here, and I guess the only way you can look at this in a non-save opportunity is he wanted another inning on the heels of last night's work. Here's a 2-0. 2-1.
Well, I think you're right, because if there's a save situation tomorrow, generally 3 days in a row, you're not sure what you're going to get. But I think it's also, Joe, where the Red Sox are at in the lineup here. Knowing that David Ortiz is sitting there 4th in this inning, you might as well, I know it's not a save situation, but go for the close right here.
3-1 instead of waiting for that save opportunity to develop. Just get the win.
Yeah, and get the work. But Joe's never been a guy for quite a while now that's just 1, 2, 3.
Had a big year last year. He gets a borderline pitch for a strike here. It's 3-2.
That helped.
Full count on Holt. Bogarts and then Pedroia. Anybody gets on in the inning. David Ortiz. 3-2 pitch. Little flare into left field. A base hit. So Nathan is greeted with a base hit from Brock Holt, and a good start to this 9th inning for the Boston Red Sox. Time for the King Play of the Day, brought to you by Burger King. And it's the rookie, Eugenio Suarez, with a home run in his first big league start, in his 3rd big league at bat in the 4th inning tonight.
Well, it's interesting how Stephen Drew has played a role in both these clubs in tonight's game, because this young man at the plate, they moved out of his development, moved him back to 3rd base. And Suarez is the reason that they didn't sign Stephen Drew. They wanted to give him some time in the minor leagues to develop, because they knew that he was going to come on and be ready for this season. And here he is in June.
There's a strike. That was one of the reasons. The other was to not have to forfeit a 1st-round draft pick as compensation. The beauty of it for Drew and his agent is that doesn't happen next year. There is no penalty for a team that signs him.
All right. Now the Tigers have an 18-year-old outfielder, Derek Hill, that they used with that pick.
Slow bouncer to 3rd. Castellanos throws low and safe. And it's getting interesting here in the 9th inning. Back-to-back hits by Holt and Bogarts. And it's 2 on, nobody out, with Pedroia coming up.
Castellanos is playing deep, playing range here. What really gets Bogarts this hit is he reaches out and he becomes almost a left-handed hitter, so quick out of the box.
I don't know.
Did he get him?
Hey, I missed the last one, but I don't know if he's safe on this one. What do you have, Joe? You're so good at this.
Well, it would start with the umpires.
I had to challenge that one. Guess not.
And one thing Brad Ausmus does not do, he does not come out and play that stall game as most managers do, to wait thumbs up, thumbs down for the bench coach.
There is a ball upstairs.
Now the other thing that happens too is the guy who usually looks at the replays is at 1st base tonight. He's coaching first. So I don't know if Matt Martin is running back up to the replay in between, but that's been the guy, you know, that's been able to look at stuff and see it consistently.
Well, that may certainly an opportunity to at least try to get the first out in the 9th inning. There's not much to lose.
Why not? You still have your challenge, right?
Yeah.
9th inning, take a shot.
1 ball, 1 strike on Pedroia. As it is, the Red Sox are a base hit away, or Pedroia reaching away from bringing Ortiz up, representing the tying run. Here is a 1-1. Strike two.
The other thing too is, you know, I know you're playing outs right here if you're the Tigers, but I don't like how they keep moving Castellanos to the middle. If you always can go from the line towards first base, as opposed to having to go to your backhand and throw back across your body. And now he's a little bit closer to third, but in that situation, if he's over, he comes in and makes the play and makes a throw, as opposed to having to go to the line, come back to make a throw and redirect.
He did move to his right more, as you were saying. That 2 on with nobody out, 1-2 the count. Hammering at it is Pedroia to keep it 1-2.
This dude's concentration is off the charts, isn't it? Pedroia, tough out, Brad.
There's just nothing ever given to the opponent. He is just laying it all out there every game.
Well, I think Nathan needs to throw that slider to get him out. The only problem was he got away with that last slider before that last fastball that he hung.
It's 2 on, nobody out. Pedroia up, the 1-2. That gets away as Nathan slipped. And the runners will advance to second and third, and what looked like an opportunity to get Nathan an inning is getting ugly.
Yeah, and as good as the slider looked last night, he has not thrown a good slider yet in this sequence this inning. All fastballs to Holt. He just doesn't finish that slider right there. Just didn't have conviction behind that pitch.
It's a wild pitch. It looked like he slipped live on the pitch. You look at that replay, and it looked like it just got away from him.
Yeah.
And now Jeff Jones comes out to talk to make sure Nathan's okay. They've been struggling, searching for that closer. They signed Nathan, thinking that they had that piece.
Reaching for that pine tar right there.
Well, it looked like he just did. If I can read lips again, if I'm allowed to do that, he did mention the word slip. I'm okay, slip.
Okay.
I think they wanted to check on and make sure everything was okay, and he assured Jones that he was.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Joe, I trust your instincts. You were all over it.
Yeah, okay. Second and third on the wild pitch. Takes the double play out of order. 2-2 the count on Pedroia. And a fly ball into right. That will send Hunter back. Tagging is the lead runner. That's Brock Holt. The throw comes back into the infield. 1 out, a run in an 8-5 game.
I'm a little surprised that Bogaerts isn't tagging, but you know, you're down 3, play it safe.
Absolutely. You got to be 100% sure you can make that bag. Yeah. 99's not good
He's
enough.
shaking himself right now, going, hey, he didn't throw the ball as well as I thought he did. But you know, Torrey does so many dekes out there in the outfield. We watch him all the time. I think he freezes base runners, but he didn't go back to tag right away. He went a little bit halfway. I get it. Situation dictates that a little bit.
And that was another slider he got away with, left up in the zone. Those sliders should be down below the knees.
Well, here's David Ortiz. The best he can do is make it a 1-run game as he takes the ball outside. But if you think about where the Red Sox are before they get Napoli back tomorrow night, there's the protection for David Ortiz as the shift will happen now as Castellanos goes to the right side.
Oh my goodness.
And taking third is Bogaerts, and he's safe.
Now he's out.
And they're going to say that there was momentum there with Nathan kind of pushing him off the bag, and they'll keep the safe call.
You got to call time, and before you do that, take off. Now here's what we talk about with young players. Nice read by Bogaerts to take off. Look at Joe Nathan almost getting over there. He's got to slide, though.
Absolutely.
He got to slide. See, in this situation, no timeout was called.
Brad Ausmus is going to get clarification from the third base umpire, who's the crew chief, Bill Miller. And it looked like
he took him off the bag.
He did take him off the bag. It looked like the foot got on the base before the tag. And then the momentum and the body of Nathan carried Bogaerts off the bag, and that was the call.
Yeah. No doubt.
It's a stolen base. There's the foot on the bag. He is safe, and then the body and the left arm kind of pulls Bogaerts as they head into foul territory.
He wants to take another look at this.
Well, he can challenge it, but you can see the foot gets on the bag, and then the call becomes the umpire's call that the momentum carried them off the base.
Hey, it worked for Ken Herbeck in the '91 World Series.
Right.
Took down Ron Gant.
Well, the other thing he's also asking, I think, here too, might have been, was timeout call. Because as he looked to the dugout, if you see Castellanos, he looks, then he tells Joe Nathan, and then he runs over. And you got to call time, but I'm saying, Brad might have thought that he called timeout. Oh, no, maybe not. It's a replay.
I don't think it's the challenge. He may be even challenging the original call.
That's what I
Maybe
think.
he tagged before he hit the base.
I think
the left foot's there. I think the left foot's there.
I'm with you, Joe.
Venom carries them off the bag, and I think the call on the field's going to stand here.
Now you're going to agree with Joe.
At the end of the day, however they rule this, it's still ridiculous for this to happen in a big league game. Call timeout, gentlemen. You can't just run, hey, Joe, I'm going over here in the shift, okay, no problem. The shortstop's got his head down, and there goes Bogaerts. You got to just call time.
I give Nathan credit for even trying to get over there. And he almost got the out. And safe will be the call as the foot got on the bag. The count is 1-0 on David Ortiz.
Yeah, I think he's taking a shot here that he probably should have taken on the play at first base with Bogaerts. He had a better chance of overturn on that one than this one.
The Red Sox are just happy that Bogaerts gets up not hurt after that play as they.
And he's got to slide into third.
Absolutely. So now it's Ortiz, a count of 1-0, and again the Red Sox are one base runner away from bringing the tying run to the plate. Here's a 1-0. 2-0.
Now, this may not be as crazy as it sounds, but why didn't he just steal home here? There's no one within a country mile of Bogaerts at third base. Nathan's throwing from a windup.
Because David Ortiz is swinging.
Take a pitch. 2-0. I mean, look at this.
Get down the line and take off. Here you go. Boom.
He could score twice. Here's a 2-0.
As funny as it sounds, guys, these are things that we'll think about. Situation right now, it's 8-5. But I'm telling you what, a closer game, later on, another time, maybe playoffs, whatever, you book this. You remember it.
Well, I guarantee 8-5 to have to honor the runner on third base more and cover that. But I think as we get into these shifts and people find out the unintended consequences, offensively, you have to come up with counters to these shifts, and this would be one of them.
3-1.
I really believe that when we get down, and I've had arguments with different people on this, but I believe when we get to the pennant races and in the postseason, you won't see this many shifts. The game's different. I'm going to move runners. I'm going to do. Right now, everybody's a little more selfish in the season, but late in the postseason, it's about one run, one game.
There's a strike, full count.
I like how you're thinking, though, Tom. Wow, they're just giving him home.
Once Nathan starts that windup, Bogaerts could walk on.
Yeah.
But now 2 strikes on the hitter, so forget that. 3-2 pitch, fouled back, and Ortiz almost came out of his shoes.
Once again, the slider is up. Saw it all the way, just missed it.
The Tigers will not come out of this appearance by Joe Nathan pleased with what they're seeing and feeling confident that he's got it back together.
No, not at all.
Another 3-2 pitch to David Ortiz. But again, without Napoli, the protection for Ortiz, and the guy who waits on deck is Grady Sizemore, who's 0 for 4 tonight. The Red Sox do have Johnny Gomes on their bench.
Yeah, tonight the protection's been the scoreboard. Every time he's come up in an opportunity to hit, his home run doesn't tie the game or put them ahead. So they pitched to him.
It happened last time up. As a ground ball's hard hit, right side. That's Kinsler. A run scores, but 2 out. And the RBI for David Ortiz makes it 8-6. And so now the Red Sox are down to their final out, and Grady Sizemore will step to the plate. It's been a 2-run 9th inning so far. That ball was scorched.
It was. Scalded. I was kind of hoping it would get by Kinsler because I wanted to see Castellanos out in the outfield grass try to backhand that ball and make a throw to first. It's a tough play. We're taking routine plays and making them difficult.
Red Sox are staring at their 5th consecutive loss after a 7-game win streak, which followed a 10-game losing streak. And facing Sanchez tomorrow night with Lackey on the mound. 8-6 is the score. 2 out, nobody on for Grady Sizemore. Here comes a 1-0 pitch from Nathan. 2-0. On deck is Nava.
And this is where the emergence of Chamberlain gives some coverage to Brad Ausmus. See the pitch count, 24 pitches, 2nd day in a row working for Nathan. Chamberlain has become an option for a 9th inning if Brad Ausmus has to do that tomorrow.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. High fly ball into right. Will it stay in play? Long run, Torrey Hunter, and can't make the catch. Off the edge of his glove to make it 2-1, and Hunter comes away limping. Just reached down for his left leg as he makes his way back to right field. And his position, let's see how much of that wall he catches.
Ouch. The left leg, left knee.
Yeah, they want to check on him. He's saying he's okay. It's a very difficult play for an outfielder. You see a lot of outfielders go into the slide to stop the momentum of the body.
A long way to get there.
How about swinging on 2-0 by Sizemore, down by 2 with 2 out in the 9th inning?
Yeah, a little surprising there because Daniel Nava swinging about good tonight too.
Sizemore just got to try to get on base. The count 2-1 with 2 out. That is going to do the job. Into center, and the tying run will back as Sizemore is on with 2 out here in the 9th.
Oh, buddy.
A 4-run lead to start the inning, and now Daniel Nava will get a chance to hit.
Yeah, Joe Nathan has just had a hard time getting the ball down this entire inning.
So here's Nava, who has 2 home runs this season. He's got 2 hits in this game. He's been on base 3 consecutive times.
A little concerned about this guy.
Well, he's generally a guy that will give you that first pitch strike. So if I'm Joe Nathan, I'm very aggressive in the strike zone with the first pitch.
Nava's last home run came on tax day, April 15th.
Paid his dues.
All paid up. And he has paid his dues over his career. Went back down to the minor leagues. He's back. And he's got a base hit into left. That's his 3rd hit of the night. And now the tying runs are on for the Red Sox here in the 9th. And there are the boos again for Joe Nathan.
And how about that? Daniel Nava got me and Joe Nathan. Jumping first pitch fastball.
Come on, Tom. This is the theme of tonight's game.
And now Stephen Drew. So the guy the Tigers didn't go after to fill that hole at short will dig his way in. There's action in the bullpen with Ian Kroll. The tying runs are on. Stephen Drew, who has his first hit since coming back on Monday, here tonight, an RBI single in the 6th inning. With the left-handed hitting Przinsky on deck, Kroll in the bullpen. Here we go. Ball 1. This will be pitch number 29 of this 9th inning for Joe Nathan. Runners on at first and second. Red Sox down by 2. Strike 1.
Well, he's going to have to live on the outside half. If Stephen Drew's going to hurt you, he has to beat me opposite way. If I give a home run, drive a ball somewhere, then he's going to have to drive it to the opposite side. I can't give him anything in that could hurt me.
Well, that was a great pitch. He doesn't throw many two-seamers. That had nice action on it.
Here comes a 1-1 pitch. That's down 2-1. Drew hit 13 home runs last year with Boston. He's up in a spot here with this big outfield. He plugs a gap. This game will be tied.
Yeah, and the outfielders are playing deep, no doubles.
Here comes a 2-1. That's a strike over the outside corner. 2-2. To your point, everything away to Stephen Drew. Reaching for it, fly ball right center field. Jackson is there, and the Tigers win it 8-6 as Nathan survives the 9th. Anything but pretty here tonight. Not much of a celebration down in that dugout for a team that snapped a 5-game losing streak last night. They've won 2 in a row, and the Red Sox now have lost 5 straight. For Tom Verducci, Harold Reynolds, and Ken Rosenthal, I'm Joe Buck. We'll send it back to the studio coming up next for post-game coverage. Tigers win at 8-6. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow night. Back after this.